Three, two, one, Ghost Face. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 321 Ghost. I'm your host face with a capital G, Kyle. Capital G, well, silent G and
Oh my
capital
God.
G, I suppose. Kyle. And as always, joined by my pal, Natalie. Hey, Natalie. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's been so long since we've done a Scream movie that I forgot about Host Face.
A lot's happened.
Yeah.
Um, geez, hey, everybody. We're talking about the recently released Scream 7, which well, I'm not going to say I hope you've seen, because if you're not saying it for boycott reasons, that's totally okay. And in which case, just listen to us.
Yeah, but also, why would you listen to us talk about this if you didn't want to see it?
Well, because then you don't have to give money to Paramount, but then also hear all the spooky deets, all the scream tea.
That is true. That is true.
So I do offer us as a free way that does not support Spyglass Entertainment and Paramount to enjoy some of this movie because we are going to be sharing our thoughts. And,
Hmm.
also to all those who haven't seen it, I don't know if you're missing a whole lot that's life-changing by any means.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
You could read a synopsis.
but then also, yeah, you can support us because we certainly wouldn't have fired Melissa Barrera.
No, but we did give them our money.
We did. And you know what? Here's also my reasoning behind it. Well, I don't have a reasoning behind it. I really don't. Other than there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. However,
Boom shakalaka.
and I just get so caught up with the boycotts, right? It's like, are these same
Hmm.
people the ones that are boycotting Scream 6 because how they fucked over Nev Campbell? Or are the
Hmm.
people that weren't okay fucking over Nev Campbell willing to come back to this one? I don't
Hmm.
know. I can't keep up. Um, but at the same time, completely justified. And I'm like, man, I tried to put so much good into this earth that I was telling my wife, I was like, I just want people to see a fucking Scream movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Like,
not my fault.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So
But I
we're gonna
think what
have
you
fun with
do,
it.
yeah, and try to enjoy the movie if you can, or, well, as much as the movie allows you to try to enjoy what's going on screen. And,
We'll get there. Don't show your cards too early.
and, with just it's hard to ignore that aspect of it because it is just so it's a constant reminder through this movie about New York and her not being in New York. And
Hmm.
it was almost as if it's like I couldn't tell if it was like just dumb, bare bones, like meta commentary, or if it was like, Spyglass was like, all right, Nev Campbell, we'll pay you what you want. But you need to like apologize multiple times for not being around in the last one and make it seem like it was your fault for not being there, right?
I think it's lazy meta commentary.
Yeah, right. But what it ends up being, or at least what it ended up being for me, is so many faults in this movie. I'm like, this is fucking Spyglass's fault. They just kept fucking this over two movies now and just kept stepping on their own fucking dicks and being fucking awful and very wrongly dumping Melissa Barrera and for
Hmm.
rightly calling things are how they are.
She was just
And
one of the first.
right. So this movie is just a reminder of just like, ugh, God, fuck corporations, man. Fuck Spyglass. Fuck,
Hmm.
Paramount. Fuck all this nonsense. I'm like, can I just I'm like, how are we? We're free from the grips of the Weinsteins. Out of dimension. Why? Why? Is it? And I think it's just because every corporate Hollywood producer dickhead is just a fucking dickhead. I don't know.
Yeah, they're garbage. Do we want to share, because we are going to spoil this movie and all the previous six before it? Do
Yeah,
we want to share a quick spoiler-free, like quick tidbit of how we feel about this movie?
absolutely.
Okay, you can go first.
Um, I think the movie, when it has good ideas, ugh, gets kind of maybe 60% of the way and then just either
Hmm.
abandons it or just fumbles at the goal line,
Yeah.
Um, this, you know, when I watched this movie, and like, I don't know, I tried not to be too hard on it because when I watched it the first time, I was, I was struggling with how to talk about it when you and I connected the first time because her and I,
Yeah,
Natalie, we um, always had to hop, had to hop on the phone and talk about this after we saw it the first time.
immediately.
And I was just kind of struggling. And I was like, I mean, I guess the two things I'm just like, well, all right, I think we're running out of ideas now, huh? And and then two, it's like, man, a movie can be dumb. That's okay. Hey,
hmm The dumber, the better.
and we've seen so many dumb like killer
hmm
reveals and motives and people that just inexplicably just survive no matter how
Yeah.
many times you stab them up. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Things can be dumb, but gosh, whew, it's like when I go into any movie, and especially horror movies, like my first grading scale is fun. And if I'm not having
hmm
fun with it, at least, then that's what makes it really, really hard for me to excuse the rest. Sometimes the dumb parts make it fun. Um,
Yeah.
However, this movie, so I've seen it twice. I watched it a second time yesterday, and and I did like it moderately better, I think. Sometimes it's easier to just like watch the movie and really accept everything that's going on when you don't have to worry about the mystery of who the killer is,
Yeah, or when you've just you know what's going to happen next.
right? So I can just kind of watch things from a more holistic kind of angle, right?
For sure.
And so I liked it a little better the second time, but I've really struggled to endorse this or recommend it.
Yeah. Would you recommend it? Would you recommend it to someone who's a big Scream fan?
Yeah, because I mean it's and again, it's just like how am I going to be first in line to watch Scream 8? Yeah,
Yeah,
probably for
always.
till the end of time. But yeah, this one just doesn't do it for me. But also, I don't know, maybe the seventh entry in a horror franchise, granted it's a low bar, but it's probably the best
Mhm.
seventh entry, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I would say for this movie, for me, and we've had two conversations about this. One of me asking you, but what did you like about this movie? And you struggling to answer. And then the reverse of you asking me, what do you like about this movie? And me struggling to answer or really having to think hard about it. Whereas if you ask me, even Scream 3, which is currently our lowest ranked, I could quickly name some things that I like about Scream 3, but I've seen it so much more than this. I've seen this movie twice. So, what I would say is this is a very divided movie because from what I've seen on the internet and I've listened to, a couple podcasts, I've watched a couple short reels, some YouTube videos, um the overall consensus has been pretty positive. And I think that made me like this movie even less, which I know is my thing. I know it's my thing. But I feel like we have a lot of recency bias. So I would say if you really, really love this movie, I even heard a couple people say, like, wow, this is one of the most amazing opening kills I've seen. Really? Really? Like, I need you to go back, watch one, two, three, four, five, and six after having watched this movie, because I know everybody marathoned it before. Watch it after, and you tell me if this measures up to other Scream movies. That would be what I would say. This movie fell really flat for me. It wasn't super fun to watch. I found myself being bored on a first watch in a Scream movie, which isn't
Ooh.
good. Like, yes, it had exciting moments. Anytime Nev Campbell's on the screen, she's so great. Like, she's great in it. She's Sydney. What?
So maybe let's start there. Tell me some things you like about this movie.
Obviously, I love Sydney. I think
Yeah.
Nev Campbell does such a great job of just slipping right back into Sydney. I'm never not convinced, no matter what stage of life she's in, that she isn't Sydney. Like she's still not Nev Campbell. Like when you watch her interview and you watch her as Sydney, they're two different people, and I love that. I also liked that you get to see Sydney in a normal living situation, like outside of the first three films, because after that, she kind of just pops into Scream 4 and 5 and 6, and you don't see her life. You just see her put into a ghost face situation. So I like that we get to see a little bit of that for Sydney. Gail, ah, I love Gail. I think Courtney Cox knows that character so well. I think they use the appropriate amount of profanity for her at all times. The scenes between Sydney and Gail, I think are great. I think that they did a really good job with that. So nostalgia might be carrying a lot of that for me, but I would say those are really great. And I think this movie has fun kills for what it lacks for story and character development.
Yeah, I think these kills are generally all pretty fun. They kind of come in a short burst because, gosh, I feel like
Mhm.
at the end, like the whole last act, I don't think outside the killers
Which has been like
anyone
kind of a
dies.
reoccurring theme for the past couple movies, but we'll get to that. So that was our spoiler-free thoughts. So now, fair game. We can
Yeah,
spoil everything.
I agree with you. I think Nev Campbell does a good job.
She's she's amazing.
Yeah.
I
And Courtney
saw a
Cox too,
clip.
of
I
course.
saw a clip of her and Kevin Williamson surprising an audience that was like seeing one of the first like fan screenings of Scream 7 and they like didn't know they were going to be there. Can you imagine if the two of them walked into the screening of the movie that you were going to see? I would be sobbing, sobbing.
So I went to one of those like fan event screenings.
Hmm.
Didn't get couldn't even get a Mark Consuelos. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah, nobody showed up.
I'd
But
have been I would have been happy with anybody, but it
oh my
was
gosh.
not as exciting for me because it was a trade-off. Because it was you didn't have any trailers except for there was one for Passenger, which looks like dumb fun. Did you get
Yeah,
that one?
that
Yeah.
looks like it could be dumb fun. Oh, they showed you that trailer. Interesting. Okay.
Just that one and Scary Movie, which I mean, I'm here for. It's bad. It
Yeah.
looks just
It got laughs though in the
cringy.
theater. No, I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited.
It's funny because the if for those who haven't seen the trailer for it, I could tell there was so of the two screenings, there was one screening I was in where
All millennials.
I didn't get a lot of laughs out of the they them joke, but I
Mm,
got big laughs out of the
the half gay.
no, no, the uh I'm Republican, so I'm supposed to be racist.
Yeah.
And it's like all white people are racist.
Yeah.
And then the second screening, it was the other way around. So it's like I think there was just a more of a conservative group in
Yeah.
the second screening because they all laughed at the they them joke and it was crickets after the I'm
Interesting.
Republican, so ugh.
Okay, the crowd that I was with, I will say, okay, the first time that I watched this, because I watched it on Thursday night, not at a fan screening. I went to the second one because the fan screening did not have three seats in a row. And unfortunately, I did have to have the family tag along. But the audience was so fucking into it. They loved that scary movie trailer. I was like, this is all fucking millennials in here. Absolutely 100%. But they also were a really great audience watching Scream. There was a lot of laughter, a lot of like, there was a guy next to me. I shared this with Kyle already, but there was a guy next to me that every time Ghostface popped up on screen, even if it was just like in the shadows, he'd go, and it was so funny. Like even if he didn't jump out or anything, and it makes it so much more fun. So like the audience was more fun than parts of the movie for me. But yeah, the I didn't do the special screening.
What made the special screening a real struggle for me was there was also like 10 minutes of it's like behind the scenes stuff that you've kind of already seen
Hmm.
and that's another thing everybody like watch the trailer and you've basically got the entire movie.
Yeah, the trailer was. real fucked. I can't believe
Yeah,
that they showed that much. I thought there was going to be a bunch of twists and turns we didn't know about.
right. And I had to sit through that fucking song. I was thinking I should have sent you the YouTube video for that Ice Nine Kills song with McKenna Grace.
Hmm.
Which is, ooh, it's really bad.
It's bad.
No, while it's ooh, while it's better than the Creed song for Scream 3. What if I,
Yeah.
um sorry, nothing, no,
Nice Creed impression.
not even close to Demi Lovato. That song slaps from that last one.
I didn't think that I would say anything positive about that Demi Lovato song ever, but this song is way worse. I like for a minute I thought it was like a bad Evanescence song.
Yeah.
Mm.
And well, I mean, it definitely has that DNA. And
Hmm.
I guess I'm just kind of shocked at this point that Ice Nine Kills hasn't done a song for Scream or for. Are you familiar with them at all? Because I really
No.
actually am not. They started originally off as like a kind of like a punk ska band, but then I think before they got big, it was more like metal adjacent
Mm.
rock but it's like all about horror movies and like there's like
Oh.
songs about Jason and Freddy and
Oh,
you know
interesting.
that
Doing like the Misfits thing.
maybe um but I don't know, I'm okay, I think.
You're okay without them, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. So of course since we've got another Scream entry, we're doing another entry in our Scream franchise series. So that's why you're
There's
getting this
so
one
many
early.
franchise series this month. We've got three. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's a lot.
I know, especially because it's like part seven of this, part six of that, part five of that. Yeah. So it's a little messy. It all converges
Hmm.
every once in a millennia, but
We don't make the
once
rules.
once in a millennium rather. But so Natalie, as we all know, there's certain rules one must abide by to podcast on a Scream movie. Natalie, can you please tell us the rules before I get too deep into this?
Well, this is the latest movie in this franchise, and we have talked about all six. Now, good time to plug. If you haven't listened to our episodes on Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you should do that. You absolutely should do that. You don't have to do it right now.
And Screamed, the unofficial musical parody.
Yes, we also have an episode on that. So if you're a big Scream fan, we've covered all of them. And along the way, we we spoil them. So now that we're at part 7, we can spoil any of the first 6 movies. If you're just coming into this listening to us talk about the seventh one and you haven't seen the first 6, you have bigger problems. So I'm not even going to tell you. It it's fine. We're going to spoil all of them. But some things that we are going to talk about are some rankings. Now, we will remind you of our rankings from the past before we update you with new ones if you're curious and you don't feel like listening to the first 6 episodes, which really you're missing out. So, we're going to add something new in this time. We've never done this before. We're going to rank our opening kills this time around. So, we're going to add that in. We're going to go over our boo scores as always. Then we'll share our movie rankings, which right now we're aligned. So, we'll review that, but we're aligned for now. And then we'll go into our killer rankings, which is starting to become a real fucking long list. The long list, y'all.
Yeah, because I mean, like, how many, what, like 12, 13 killers now at this point?
There's yeah, I lost count.
15.
There's 15. And of course I'll share taglines. So, yeah, no real rules. We're going through all of it.
Technically 16. Are we counting the dude at the beginning of Scream 6? Because I do. Actually, I think I do.
Oh, I didn't put him in my ranking.
I think we need to. He was killing somebody with the ultimate goal of killing
Do
Sam
you
and her
remember
sister.
his name?
I don't know.
Wow.
It's the chode that's into Argento.
Yeah.
We'll get back.
We'll
I'll
get
edit it
back to
back in
that.
later, and we'll
Yeah,
include him in our rankings
sure.
because I think it counts. I think the movie doesn't count him, but I think I should. We should.
The movie doesn't count him. His name is Jason. What a fucking surprise. So,
Okay.
so we can add Jason in.
There you go. Just added him on my list. Exciting stuff. And I can't spoil anything past the Dream Child, right? But I can talk about all the Child's Play movies,
You can talk about all the Child's Play movies and all of the Final Destination films as
but
well.
not the Chucky show yet, just in case.
Yeah, not the Chucky show. No.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we talked a little bit about the behind the scenes fiasco leading to what we have now in front of us. Now, we don't have what's her face, Melissa Barrera or Jenna Ortega back in this movie.
Hmm.
Um, they get mentioned a little bit, barely, maybe with a line or two, but they do mention New York quite a bit in this movie, like I
Hmm.
mentioned. And but you do have some returning characters from Scream 6. You have Gale Weathers,
Hmm.
industry legend Courtney Cox,
MVP.
absolutely. Um, best Gale entrance in the series, probably.
Yeah, yeah, I will give them that. This is the best Gale entrance.
She just from here on out needs to hit a ghost face with her car in
Every
every
single
entrance.
installment. Yeah. How do you go up from there?
Yeah. I just loved watching like him like still like roll and get hit again like under the car. Like he's definitely dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Didn't need to
she
shoot him in the head.
yeah, that's true. And then you also have with her joined by the what's his face Mason Gooding who plays
Mhm.
Chad, and then you've also got Mindy who's played by Jasmine Savoy Brown. It is pretty I thought it was pretty funny when Mark's like, so who are you guys again? They were like, oh yeah, we're Gail's hot interns.
Yeah. It's true.
Even though it only because there's a couple Ghostbusters in this movie, which is interesting, and because it reminds me of a trope that I hate that they did in those newer Ghostbusters movies, is
Mm.
that they just need to have some reason for the older generation and the younger generation to go to the same places, and it's always
Yeah.
just like, oh, we're just interning, as we do. Like it's like the intern trope is really dumb, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I wonder how much, they just tried to salvage what they could, some reason to bring them back.
Yeah.
Um, but that's kind of really kind of more what it felt like because they're
I
back
think
here for a couple of days and they don't even go visit their mom.
I think for Chad and Mindy,
Oh yeah, sorry, they're not in Woodsboro. Sorry, just Pine
yeah,
Grove, Indiana. Sorry,
it's
very, very
Pine
different.
Grove feels like Woodsboro-ish. But I feel like for Chad and Mindy, they just had to get the characters in the movie to see if maybe they could salvage some of the Scream 5 and 6 fans. But I don't think they actually had a real purpose for them. I feel like they were like written into the script after the script already kind of happened. And they were like, okay, how can we make this work? And it's more to set up them in Scream 8. That is my guess. I don't feel like they actually had a purpose in this movie, and Kevin Williamson was like, how can we make this work? Now maybe Mindy will be the next Gale Weathers.
Hmm. Uh, Gale Weathers will forever and always be the
Yeah,
only Gale Weathers, please.
yeah, I agree.
And then of course, you've got Neff Campbell coming back after, um, you know, gosh, if you hadn't heard enough already, she sat out the last one. And it's, yeah, we'll talk about that more, especially like in the killer motive again, where like, what is, it's interesting to bring that up so much.
Jamie Lee
Um,
Curtis isn't in every Halloween movie.
yeah.
Like, calm down, everybody.
And you do have some returning creatives, what's his face? James Vanderbilt wrote the story with Guy Busick, who they were in charge of the last two, 5 and 6.
Hmm.
So at least you have some, even if they had to, completely redo this script, like as far as like the voice, I think you still have some holdover. And I bet that's probably why you also get Chad and Mindy a little bit, because it is their characters,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. They feel true to form.
And then of course, writing the screenplay with Guy Busick is Kevin Williamson, who's back directing this movie.
Hmm.
Kevin Williamson has not directed a movie since what was it, 1998's Teaching Mrs. Tingle?
So it's been a minute.
Yeah. And okay. I might catch some heat for this. I don't know.
Hey, 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 let's start by saying we do love Kevin Williamson.
Industry legend, Kevin
Industry
Williamson. Yeah, absolutely.
legend.
Yeah. Um this ain't it. I don't I feel like it's great having him work on the screenplay. That's cool. I think having him direct, like if you just said alone, like, hey, Kevin
Hmm.
Williamson's back to write this movie,
I'd
like
be stoked.
Kevin Williamson's the one doing the rewrite. Like, I think everyone would be like, oh, okay, make lemons out of lemonade or the other way around, you know what I mean? But find there are so many competent, like,
Hmm.
real hot right now, like horror directors that could have taken the reins. Now, granted, yeah, if you said like Kyle, who would you prefer to direct this movie? Kevin Williamson, Christopher Landon, or Radio Silence? Kevin Williamson would be choice number three.
Oh, for sure. I think that was another thing that I was really surprised by because I was very excited that Kevin Williamson was going to be writing. But when they announced that he was directing, my immediate reaction was, wait, what has he directed? And went like into his IMDb because I love his writing. Like, I mean, come on, Dawson's Creek, R.I.P. James Vanderbeek. But he's a great writer. I really, really, I enjoy so many things that he's done. But yeah, I was like, ooh, he's directing, and everybody was real stoked on it. And I was like, okay, let's give him a chance.
It's like it has the same air of like, you know, but don't worry, guys, David Arquette's gonna direct. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, okay, like David Arquette's cool, but like
But
maybe
he,
he's like directed some, you know, amateur stuff or some commercials or maybe a couple episodes of a TV show. I don't know, but
hmm
that's I don't know. So it does, and again, this is where I just can't get the spyglass of it all is out of my initial viewings of this movie is because it just feels just very desperate.
Yeah.
And maybe in Kevin Williamson's defense, I suppose, maybe he was just like, hey, this is the first time in 30 years someone has offered me to direct a movie.
hmm
Yeah,
I
fuck
think
yeah,
that's
I'm gonna take
absolutely
it.
part of it.
Like how many Child's Play films went by before they finally why am I blanking on his name?
Don Mancini,
Don Mancini gets to
industry
direct one.
legend.
Gets to direct one. So it's not like it isn't completely out of, you know, like out of reality for this to happen, but just the timing of it all
I
just felt
mean,
like
are they not just kind of like hot interns learning how to direct from another director? And then over time, they're like, you know what? You take the reins. It's your
internships
turn.
last a little longer than 30 years before you're like, maybe maybe you're just be good at what you're good at.
Yeah.
And again, like there's some scenes where he's building tension and so I'm not going to say that none of it works, but I think overall it just so drab, boring and dark the whole time. You really, if anything, yeah. Whereas like, especially compared to the last movie where I'm like, oh yeah, put it in New York, like or Montreal, but calling it New York.
Mhm.
But like, let's put them on some subways. Let's put them in some different places where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, we're not in Woodsboro, but we're in Woodsboro again.
Yeah.
A very absolute, an even less populated town,
The least
as we can see
populated
here.
town.
Maybe in Pine Grove, everyone's in the hospital. Maybe that's
And
what
in
the situation is. I
Woodsboro,
don't know.
everyone is out and about, not in the hospital, not
Right.
even the nurses or the doctors.
Yeah. And then of course we've got, let's see, well, some not returning characters, but returning actors.
Hmm.
The first one we'll talk about, of course, is Matthew Lillard. They were really clear that Matthew Lillard was going to be in this
Hmm.
movie. everybody's suspicions were right, is that this was a very AI focused movie,
Hmm.
which again, like, oh
It's
Jesus, like
relevant.
really, I mean, it's relevant, and like I think maybe this was the meta commentary on it too, but like, man, AI and just the use of it in this movie, and it just brings it down for me. And I'm like, man, AI does fucking suck, and it always looks bad, and it doesn't look good here.
Yeah. I
I don't, ugh, I don't know.
I
Like I know, yeah.
I appreciated that they acknowledged AI because, I mean, if we go back to Scream 3 with the voice changer, that's not even technology that existed then. Like, that is AI, what they were doing with the voice changer in Scream 3, that you could make anyone's voice because now you can do that. I don't know if you could do that in 1990, what, 1999?
It's funny how it reminded me of Scream 4 a little
Hmm.
bit when just whenever like they call it like the net.
Yeah.
And first of all, I'm like, it is 2011. We're still calling it the net.
Yeah.
That's like
But
1998 language. And and then in this one, it was like at some point Sydney asks somebody like, "What do you know about
yeah.
AI?"
Oh, and then they say
And it's like
fakes.
a very,
Deep
yeah,
fakes.
what do you know about deep
Yeah.
fakes? And it's just so funny. Like it still comes from
Why do
this.
you have a cellular telephone, son? It
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
very much like whatever era of technology is happening, whoever's writing it is behind.
We know what piece of technology I saw fucking removed completely from this
Hmm.
movie. Little doggy doors in the garage doors. I wonder if Kevin Williamson's like, if she's gonna name her daughter Tatum, she's gonna absolute make fucking sure
No
that
dogs.
same thing, no matter how it happens. Yeah, we can't have pets. That's why there's no pets
Mm-mm.
in the movie. Um, because we're just not letting this happen to her again. Um, oh my gosh. So the new characters. The other person I think that does okay that I'm like hearing on the internet, like a lot of people aren't super big on, is Joel McHale.
Yeah, let's talk about Joel
He's
McHale for a
fine.
second because I'm not the biggest Joel McHale fan, I'll admit. I never got into Community. He had his moment on Drag Race.
Forever will be haunting him, that moment on Drag
Yeah, and
Race.
honestly,
I haven't even seen
it's
it.
he was very annoying, but at the same time, like, what do you expect putting a white straight dude in that environment? Like, he was genuinely excited to be there and was trying to be funny, and you put him next to a woman from New Jersey who takes no shit from anybody. And of course, like, drama is gonna happen. I'm not mad at Joel McHale for that anymore. But the first time I watched this, I really thought Mark wasn't that remarkable. Remarkable.
Uh,
But the second time I liked him a lot more because I was like, you know what? This is exactly what Sydney's husband would be as a cop, for sure, because background checks.
named Mark.
Yeah, named Mark. That she got a thing for Marks. And just someone who genuinely understands that she has a dark past and trauma, and there is a chance that some fucking asshole is going to put on a ghost face mask again and they need to be prepared. Like, I feel like those things are very clear between Sydney and Mark's relationship. So the second time around, I really enjoyed Mark. And if Scream 8 does involve Sydney, I want more Mark, a little bit more dialogue from him.
Even though he'll probably die eventually in some sequel, I appreciate that they don't kill him here.
Me too.
And I appreciate that he's not the killer because
Yeah,
I'm
that would have
like,
been
I
too
don't know,
much.
like let Sydney just fucking like stop,
Yeah,
just let her have her fucking her life and her family
agreed.
alive. Stab him the fuck up a little bit. That's
Yeah.
okay. But but yeah, they're right. He is fucking hard to take down. Like I liked that first kind of scene with the first ghost face attack in their house. And I was like, I don't know, dude, Joel McHale's
They
fucking
were kicking
throwing hands,
ass.
fucking he grabs the knife and tries to go at him with it. And
Yes.
I'm just like, I don't know. Fucking does a couple like good WWE fucking like suplex
Yeah.
kind of fucking moves on
Sydney
him,
like
you know?
kicks the knife like over to him and he grabs it real fast. Like they were coordinated.
Yeah. And I just thought they had good
I did
chemistry.
I did too actually. Like I like when they have their little moment in the bed where he's like, I didn't want you to just think of me as a sex slave, and she's like, you have a brain? Like I was buying their little flirt and kiss. I was like, this is cute.
I think you may have said this already. But yeah, just like without question, just like, hey, fucking, I'll validate your
Yeah.
paranoia. I'm
She
with
said
you.
there's a killer at the high school. You need to get there. He was like, on it. All units, get to the high school. Like he didn't question it. Like, what? What? You're being paranoid. Like he didn't do the fucking shitty, male character husband role that doesn't believe his wife. Like you can tell he fully trusts her judgment, even with everything she's been through.
The only times he pushes back in the movie are when he's like, Stu Macher's dead.
Hmm.
That is just
Yeah, y'all
AI.
don't know.
And two, when Tatum's wearing the jacket from Scream 2, and he's like, ugh, I don't know, maybe you were kind of the shitty mom on this one. Let her wear the fucking
I
jacket, you
disagree.
know? Oh, really?
Well, I disagree with him. I feel like as as someone who has a lot of emotional attachment to clothing and fashion and like a time and place for when I've worn things, there are things that held on to for years and years and years because I had a moment in them. She has trauma in that jacket. That's the jacket that she's wearing when she sees Derek
Then why does she
die.
have it?
Uh, Just weird attachment to it. She said she thought she threw it away. But I mean, she shouldn't have kept it out in the open. But yeah, her reaction was uncalled for considering how little Tatum knows about her past.
So, speaking of Tatum, right? You have Isabel May who plays Sydney's daughter in this one.
I think
Um,
they picked a
I,
good
I,
look for like Joel McHale and Nev Campbell's daughter. I think she is convincing.
and like, I don't know, she's fine in the movie. I mean, again, like all the problems really, most of the problems with me lie in the script,
Yeah.
and they just make people dumb when they need them to be dumb. They need them to, I don't know, say what they need to say and be paranoid one minute and then just trust everyone the next minute.
Hmm.
And so I don't know. She doesn't get a whole lot to do because this is really like Sydney's movie.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I've just been playing a lot of Evil 4 lately. And so I know what that's like to just have some dumb idiot blonde running around you the whole time, just being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And here I am just fucking unloading a magnum into fucking crazy ass villager brains. So like I was really feeling for Sydney
You're like, oh,
in
all this
this movie.
responsibility. I think my issue that I take with Tatum, it is in the writing because the actress does a, a great job with what she's given. And I think the scenes between her and Nev Campbell, they're convincing as mother and daughter. But what isn't convincing to me is she seems to have a pretty great life. And Sydney even says it in the beginning. She says, if the worst thing she can say about me is I'm an overprotective mom, I can live with that. That literally seems like the only thing that she does wrong. Even when she's talking to psycho killer Jessica, she's like, "Did you talk about like to Lucas about your past before he was born?" She's like, "Fuck no." Like your kids aren't entitled to know everything about your past, and I get it's different for Sydney because there's movies, there's books, there's the internet, but if she gets to decide if that's something that she wants to share. And she even like casually says like, "Oh, you named me after a girl that got killed in a garage door." And it's like, "Bitch, that was my best fucking friend. Watch your mouth." Like so uh, that I have issues with Tatum because I'm like, "Girl, you need to calm down. Like your life is great. Your mom is great. We all love her more than we love you. So know your role." So Tatum just is fine. And I think, and we'll get to the supporting characters and her friends and her boyfriend. I think because none of them are interesting or well thought out or written, it hurts Tatum's character as well.
Yeah, it's definitely some Scream 4 vibes where you have this new group of friends. And again, you're already you're I don't know how many new friend groups you're introducing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of did that soft reboot in 4, did it again in 5, and now we're doing it again in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what makes 4 and 7 a little more like is that they're all here to die. None of the friends
But what
survive this.
separates 4 from 7 is if you watch Scream 4, you get time with them, but you also get, they at least have a level personality trait and they have fun, quippy banter in between them. There's little love stories in between, and like you get thrown into this group. And I am more convinced, even if I don't think they would all be friends, I'm more convinced that I could answer 20 questions about even fucking Robbie or Trevor before I could any of these characters. They feel more fleshed out to me. I know a lot of people will
Maybe
disagree
not
with me because they all end up getting killed, but I like that about that movie.
maybe not Trevor, but I get your
Yeah,
point.
maybe not
Largely.
Trevor.
Everybody else
But
though.
like I still feel like Trevor is more interesting than fucking Ben.
Yeah. Because you've got Ben, who is the creep
Hmm.
boyfriend, who also is good at computer technology.
Yes.
And then you also have Lucas, who is also the creep, but is more of like a true crime junkie creep.
Yes.
Then you've got
And you never hear either, you don't ever hear Lucas like for what, 2 seconds talking about his like true crime interests. I think about like Robbie and Charlie in Cinema Club doing all the things, throwing Stabathon. Like you get to see more of their obsession.
yeah, for all of these characters, you get kind of like a quick like, oh, hello, here's who I am.
Hmm.
And then really just that one scene at the bar where you kill all of
Yeah.
them,
It's
right?
giving a Nightmare on Elm Street sequels where they have one defining trait. I like to work out and I'm afraid of roaches.
Well, but even then, though, like that's more than I can say about like McKenna Grace's character, like
Yeah.
Hannah
Or Chloe.
um, or
Her
Chloe,
parents
right?
own a
Because
bar.
it and Chloe, but remember, Chloe's whole thing is there's nothing to me. I don't know,
Yeah. And
I
I like the
guess,
creepy boy.
but at least you can get okay, work out cockroaches. Got it. Likes to wear a leather jacket,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then again, maybe that's the it's trying to be subversive here, where it's like, oh yeah, clearly it's one of the friends, so let's get all the friends together, and then all of the friends get dispatched.
Hmm.
So again, I can see where that's written as like maybe this was intentional, or maybe I'm trying to grasp at things that aren't
And if
there.
you dispatch all of those friends in one scene and boyfriend, then that only leaves so many characters left, which means I'm gonna need a really fucking good motive. But we'll get to that later.
Which, yeah,
Well, I'm
we'll
getting
we'll
ahead
get
of
to that
myself,
one.
but I really don't think I enjoy any of these friends. The friend that I enjoyed the most actually was McKenna Grace's character, Hannah, because she seemed like she was going to be kind of your pseudo Tatum. Like I thought she'd last a little bit longer and be the fun friend, that kind of likes to party a little bit, but maybe ends up getting killed. And also, like, how dare they bring up a party and not have a party? Why couldn't we have had the friends get killed off at the party and that be the catalyst instead of at the theater? Like maybe one off to the side kill at the theater and then everybody like that, then maybe McKenna Grace dies at a party. I wanted a party.
Well, again, that's where I think it's trying to be, lack of a better term, like trying to be, I guess, subversive, where it's you're expecting this. However,
Hmm.
it's not someone in the friend group. And oh, as soon as someone says party, and it's a Scream movie, they say, oh, remember party? She brings it up at her, at her place a couple times, and everyone's ears perk up. They're like, oh, uh-oh, we know her.
Hmm.
We can already see a little bit of like all the blood splattered walls and what the fuck's going to be going on at this party
Yeah.
tonight, but that never
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, and then let's see. So, and then Aaron, who's another kind of side half friend character who will die, but we'll get to that.
Mm.
And then as far as like the other like supporting characters, there are a couple fun or just weird. I don't know. I'm gonna say fun like supporting
Okay.
characters from some industry stalwarts,
Yeah.
you know. So you've got Mark Consuelos, who I mean, I know from like the season or two of Riverdale I
Yeah.
watched.
That's all I know him
He was one of
from.
yeah, he's probably in other TV and stuff.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy that's in soaps.
Yeah, he has that look about him. Like he's very handsome. He's a perfect cast for this character. I love Robbie Rivers. What a fun name.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect casting because you could see him being on a television screen delivering news to you for sure.
So a little bit of the I don't know. I think just immediate what does like maybe Gail says it to another reporter to him, just like first thing is like fucking fuck
Yeah.
off. She walks
Because he
through.
asked for an interview. He's like,
Um
help out a small town reporter.
and though my favorite uh he works for News 7 and you see it on his little microphone. And then Gail and Chad and Mindy work for 7
Yeah.
News. And it's just literally just swapped
Yeah.
out on each of their microphones. And then I'm
That's
like,
funny. I
I
didn't
don't
even
even
notice that.
know. I don't know if our Gen Zers even I don't even know if they even grew up with cable.
Yeah,
But like I was like, does Channel 7 just have like the fictional just like stranglehold on news stations? I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah. Because I mean, April O'Neil, well, depending, it was 3 in the movie, 6 in the cartoon.
I love that you know
But
that.
mm. And then I remember, uh, not that I was like watching Fox News, but I think in San Diego it was on Channel 6 because I would watch The Simpsons
Mm,
and The
of
X-Files.
course.
Right. So there you go. And then you also have Tim Simmons or Tim Simons, who I know from Veep, who plays the high school drama director.
I wanted more of him.
You set up so many just ridiculous red herrings
Hmm.
in this movie and then just abandoned them all very
Yeah, they
quickly.
just disappear out of
Whereas
the
like
movie. I will say
just disappeared.
the drama director, he has the best line in the movie. After McKenna Grace gets murdered and he's being interviewed, he says, "Who would do
Who would
this?
do
We
this?
don't even have an understudy."
And
That's so
just
funny. That
like
like I was hoping for that type of humor the whole movie.
yeah, he's pretty funny. And just how he's just such a fucking dickhead to Tatum, who's playing a
Oh,
dog
it's so
in this
good.
is this like a Peter
Yeah.
Pan
Yeah.
situation? Yeah. And he's like, who the fuck even are you? You're Sidney Prescott's daughter, not just this limp dick fucking piece of shit asshole. Play a fucking
Like your
dog.
Fluffy is not
And
giving.
I'm like, I think I was like half expecting like him to get like a fist in the mouth from
See, they
Sydney
could
or
have killed
Mark.
him at the theater and then had a party. And maybe I'm too stuck on the party aspect of things, but I love a party in a Scream movie.
That would have been a very prime opportunity for a kill,
Mm-hmm.
would be him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have gotten that great line though.
Well, we'll just kill him right afterwards. Who
Yeah, that's
cares?
true.
Yeah. But yeah, so this movie it's like an hour 55 and it's 10 minutes, like about 10 minutes shorter than the last
Mm-hmm.
one. Um and again, I'm just like, with a Scream movie, make it 2 hours. That's
Yeah.
okay. I don't care. Now there are some things you can cut. I will say that opening's a little long and we'll get there in our next bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I just 5 minutes, another 5 minute scene with these friends
Yes.
would have
It
would have been all I needed.
even if it was after the first kill. So the first kill of the friend group is McKenna Grace, right?
Yeah.
So if it was after that, like they all get together and they're like, what the fuck? Like, is this because of your mom? And start like talking through things without Chad and Mindy, just showing them as friends, like doing the who done it mystery part, because I think we've completely lost that now in both this Scream movie and the last. I feel like part 5 maybe still had it a little bit, but the mystery whodunit aspect is just completely gone. So
Well, with the friend group, because you get that with Sydney and
you
Gale
get it with
a
Sydney
little
and
bit.
Gale, but you don't get it with the friend group. I like seeing one of the things that I think is really fun about Scream when compare it to, let's use Friday the 13th, where you get a lot of kills, 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 and then two people are like, oh shit, something's going on. What makes Scream so fun is you've got a group of people talking it through. And I love any slasher that does that. So I would have liked more of that, especially for a Scream movie. Or even Gail interacting with these kids a little bit more,
Yeah, I think she only talks to
which is
Lucas,
hilarious.
but that it is
It's
a funny
so good.
interaction. It's like, what do you mean, Mom? It's Gale Weathers. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I don't like how she's asking
Yeah.
questions right now. Because you could totally see it in Gale's
Yeah.
eyes. She is trying to dress him down, being like, you're the fucking
Yeah.
killer. But she
She was
was
wrong. Yeah.
so close, Gale, almost there. You just look a little bit to your
Yeah.
left. Okay, I think we went over all the
Oh yeah.
characters. Let's talk about this
Mm.
opening. So I don't, you know, maybe I was just kind of reading this wrong. And it is, I was hoping there'd be a little bit more of a twist because
Yes.
this was so predominantly showed in the trailers
Yes.
that something would be a little different. But nope, nope. They go and it's an Airbnb pseudo museum,
Hmm.
right? Since Amber's family sold the house. And you've got these two stab fans who are played by, I swear I've seen this dude, Jimmy
Me
Tatro,
too, but I couldn't
before,
tell you where.
but yeah, he's like a YouTube personality.
Oh.
So that's why he probably is famous. I just don't know
Well, it's funny. I was listening
because I'm old.
to another podcast. Shout out to Mouths of Madness. But I was listening to their episode on Scream 7, and their thing is the older generation of millennials versus one of the guys on that podcast, his son, who was born in the early 2000s, and he knew the two actors from the opening scene, and none of the other ones did that were our age. So I thought that was kind of funny because I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that they were like relevant people, and apparently they are with a younger crowd. So
To be fair, same kind of thing in Scream 11, where I felt like I was already like my wife had to explain to me who most of those
you
people
said
were. Like
Scream
I
11.
know whatever, Scream 4 came out in 2011.
We
Whoops.
went to the
But
future.
because I know Kristen Bell and Anna Paquin, I didn't know the others, but I think they're like on like One Tree Hill and Vampire
Yeah, I had to
Diaries
look
and
them
those
up.
types.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We
So,
had the one girl, one of the girls I think is from Friday Night Lights. Yeah.
probably this movie, this opening rather, like in it on its own, like I don't mind it. It's
Do you
fine.
think you would have liked this opening kill better if it wasn't in the trailer at all?
I think I would.
I do too. I was thinking about that afterwards because now it is bland. I think this is a bland opening kill. I don't like this couple. I don't think that they're believable at all. If he's that obsessed with Stab, can you imagine? Because we would do something like this. Can you imagine taking your partner to this Stab house and being like, oh my gosh, I got us this Airbnb. You drive all the way out there and they're like totally not into it. Would you be like, you know what? We can leave. It's fine. What? No, we're staying. Get the fuck out. Like, you knew this, you knew what this was. So they're just not believable to me as a couple at all.
A little bit.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
it felt very bland, but at the same time, I think if I didn't see it in the trailer, pretty much the whole fucking thing, they even show Ghostface holding up the knife as she falls off the chandelier.
Still pretty
Yeah,
dumb.
so the shock value is the
Yeah.
stabbing through the head and her getting lit on fire, which I think is awesome. The kills are fun, but it really took away from it. There's never been a Scream movie that had the opening kill in the trailer in that way. You had Drew Barrymore because that was like the first ever. opening kill and they wanted to fake you out and make you think she was in the movie, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, this is not a strong opening kill for me. I did like the Ghostface quiz phone call.
Oh, me
Yeah,
too.
because that's still Roger L. Jackson, right? Doing
I hope so. Because it's just like when they it's like, I guess I won't get to kill you today.
yeah, he's that
Or
stupid
like
laugh.
whatever
He's
he
like,
does.
ooh.
It's that's so good. I
Yeah,
loved that. I laughed
it's
out.
really fun.
That's probably the only time I like really like laughed, I think, in the
Yeah, it was
movie.
that was pretty good. But I just the suspense wasn't really there. It felt kind of predictable in the way that like he was trying to scare her with, the costume, and then the animatronic clearly is going to turn into a ghost face, or is going to swap out with a real ghost face. So,
I thought it was effective how when they were doing the like quiz on the phone and in the background you see the animatronic just standing
yeah.
there. I know everyone was watching that the
Oh,
whole time.
100%. The first time and the second time I was watching it.
Oh yeah. And I think I counted it right, but between this and maybe one other conversation, that's it for Roger Jackson in this movie.
Oh, yeah. That's weak.
Yeah. That in the when he's doing the kind of jokey one and then the initial call to Sydney.
Yes, because then it turns into stew.
Yeah.
Ooh, I did not even take note of that. That is major points off for this.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Speaking of returning people, sorry, I forgot to mention him, industry
Industry
legend.
legend. Yeah, I'm glad. I like anytime he gets to do something different with his voice. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
But yeah, I think ultimately like I do like God, the sharpest knives in the world or the thinnest skulls in the world, I guess. But like I did like this knife going right into this dude's skull and his like eyes kind of like
Because
popping
it
out
pulls
and
the
shit.
eye, like I'm sure the optic nerve is getting pulled by the knife is what would be happening. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that looked pretty cool.
that's pretty good. And then again, I'm glad they set her on
It was
fire
mean.
because her falling and she mentions earlier, she's like, ooh, hate to die that way.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
that is
bummer.
a bummer.
Oh yeah, when he starts like I thought he was just gonna set the house on fire and then leave her
Yeah.
there. But then when he turns around and starts pouring gasoline all over her, first of all, I'm like, oh, gasoline in that knife wound.
Oof.
That'd be
Yeah,
terrible.
it's brutal. I think that's
And
probably
then
one of the
yeah.
more brutal, like mean, or more, I should say more mean killings in this franchise.
Yeah.
Because Ghostface
That's
heard her say that.
he was like, well, I was gonna light this house on fire. But or maybe he wasn't thinking. Maybe he was like, oh, well, yeah, maybe I'll light her on fire, just like the whole fucking I don't
Yeah.
know.
And maybe he just completely forgot. And then afterwards, he was like, you know what? That was actually kind of a fun coincidence that I lit her on fire.
Yeah. Um and I think really what I didn't really like about this opening was that I don't know, almost thought it would like fit a little better in the first or in the last one because especially like in the trailers when it's like, like I'm gonna burn it all down and this and this
Mm-hmm.
and this metaphorically and then literally blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And so you're like, okay, sweet. Because the one thing that this franchise has just forever just been um criticized for among some things, but like the chief things is just being forever just beholden to Scream One
Mm-hmm.
and always nostalgia for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And or it being about the stab movies and
Yeah.
whatever. So I thought that this opening was supposed to be this like symbolic, like we're burning all that shit down. We're not gonna. There is no more Mocker House to come back to.
Yeah.
Done. Stop asking about it or stop anticipating this, and we'll stop. Gives us a reason going forward to stop including it.
Yeah.
But turns out that's not really the case. The movie does ultimately just lean on the first one.
I see. Okay. I saw it differently. I was seeing it as symbolic of burning down the reoccurring theme of stab being very like a very heavy presence since Scream 2. I thought it was that
Sure.
because clearly, I I do like when he says who was your favorite, Billy or Stu? She's like, who's my favorite psychotic teenager? Like,
Well, and that's the difference, right? Is that like you and I, like we're not true crime fans. Like
no,
we don't talk about who our favorite serial killer is.
exactly.
Because but my favorite fake teenage boy serial killer in a horror movie? Oh yeah,
It's Stu.
Stu.
Yeah, it should be
I'm a Stu
everyone's.
I'm a Stu
Yeah,
head
we
too.
love Stu. Yeah, we're Stu heads. Yeah, so that's kind of how I viewed it. I think the other thing that bothered me, this opening kill is so far removed from everything else that happens in the movie. These characters have no connection to anyone else in any way. They're just random people. And
And it's quite a ways from Woodsboro to Pine Grove, Indiana.
yeah, so I get the Mocker House connection, but this particular couple had nothing to offer. Not even a name similarity, little Weathers detective work. She probably was like, damn, this really was random.
Yeah, you have that unconnected conversation about Stu and Stu maybe being alive,
Hmm.
but then but they have no idea that they're going to be using Stu as this or like or again like if they want to make it seem like Stu went and burned down his own house, why? For one.
Yeah.
And then two, like you said, if it was something about trying to be like, all right, let's get away from the stab movie connection, that would have been a better fit in the last movie.
Yeah.
And they already did that,
Hmm.
where literally when before he kills what's his face, he's like, who gives a fuck about the
Yeah.
movies? Stop it.
Hmm.
And so I that's why I struggle ultimately with this opening. However, like yeah, walking around the house is kind of neat, seeing it as kind of like a museum of, because you also include it's, you got two massacres that occurred there,
Yeah.
right? In Scream 1 and Scream
Hmm.
5. Um, so yeah,
Yeah. I think
it's
the
fine.
one thing I do find endearing is I don't even remember these characters' names. The boyfriend, how he's like repeating what happened. He's like, oh, he's like, that's the closet that Sydney hid in before stabbing Billy with the umbrella. And she's like, yes, I know, because sometimes I feel that way. Like when I'm talking about Scream or when I'm watching Scream, where I
Yeah.
like say things, and even someone like my husband who has like no interest in these movies will be like, yep. You've told me that fun Scream fact before, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just go fuck off on the other side of the room then. So I can
Yeah.
relate to him in that way. So, do we want to rank our
The
opening kills?
Yeah, I feel pretty
You feel
comfortable. I can
confident?
rank them right
Ooh, I'm
now.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to hear your ranking. So, okay, for the record, we've like casually talked about our rankings of openings, I think before, but never officially put them to paper or recording. So, you want to
Hmm.
start with your top and work your way back, or vice versa?
Vice
Okay,
versa.
let's hear it.
Okay. But though at the same time, I have a feeling that our number one's going to be the same
I think that's pretty obvious, yeah.
with the rest of the universe.
Hmm.
Um, so as far as the openings, the Scream 3 is always going to be the worst one. It sucks. It's just it looks like a straight to TV action
You're such
movie.
a hater.
It's so bad. It uses dumb technology. You kill some other woman for no fucking reason and whatever. I mean, 100% cotton is cool.
Hmm.
Outside of that,
Oh, 100% cotton.
yeah, that's the worst one. So from worst to first, Scream 3, Scream 7, Scream 5. I originally had Scream 7 over Scream 5
Wow.
because at least you get kills in Scream
Okay.
Seven's opening, but Scream 5 you get movie trivia and a lot more Ghostface.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go with that one. So My fourth best one is Scream. Here's where I think I'm going to differ, maybe even more. I don't know. We'll see. The fourth best opening for me is Scream 4. The third best opening is Scream 6. The second best one is Scream 2. And my top one has got to be the first one.
Mm.
So, as far as openings go, 1, 2, 6, 4, 5, 7, 3.
Okay. And
How about you?
did you rank them based off of anything, like what was your criteria? Because when I was ranking mine, I was like, okay, if this was a short film,
Yeah.
how would it work for me? Which is probably not true because I do think there's some of them that I placed differently based off of that, but that's how I ranked them, not necessarily how they relate to the rest of the movie.
Yeah. What's more fun? What's the most fun? What's the most
Yeah.
thrilling? And what has good kills if it
Okay.
happens? And what has, Ghostface in it? And
Hmm.
I don't know. And then I will give points for things that are clever. I really like Six's opening more than probably most people do.
I like it too, actually. I mean, I might
It's
be kind of
probably
biased.
the strongest part of the
Yeah, I might
movie.
be kind of biased because I love Samara Weaving, and I also that
Me too.
dress that she is in,
Mm,
girl. They had no business putting her in that dress. It was way too distracting. Like she looks so good, so good. But I really enjoy her. Okay. So my opening kills from, what did you say? It rhymes what you say from
worst to first?
worst to first. Dork. Okay.
I didn't
I'm
copyright
sure
that.
you
That's
didn't.
not
I was like, what is it? I was gonna say least to greatest, but that doesn't make sense. Okay. So mine is 7 is my least favorite. Then 3, because I love 100% cotton and I love cotton weary. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Then it's going to be 4. Then it's going to be 6. Then 5. I struggled with whether or not I wanted to put 5 or 6 first, but I chose 5 before 6 because of the movie trivia.
yeah.
I love the movie trivia. Then 2, and of course 1.
I thought you'd have four higher
You
than
know,
you
it's
do.
funny. I love 4 so much, but the opening, it's all right.
It is pretty
The
silly.
what I like about 4 and why I put it where I don't know. What I like about 4 is the at first I hated the fake out thing of them like keeping, you know, a bunch of different sets of kills, especially because the first one's so bad. She's like, he's just messaging me like, I love you, I'm obsessed with you, I'm gonna stab you, like that kind of thing. And I was like, why is this so fucking dumb? So it did trick me. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's lower, my opening kills. So yeah, that's my opening kill ranking. This one really fell flat for me. I was real fucking disappointed. And again, trailers, I can't stress enough how much trailers need to stop showing you the
Mm,
best parts of the movie or all the parts of the movie or taking you on a journey through the plot. Just give me little teasers.
yeah.
That's actually usually one of the reasons why I love horror so much, is because you get like a little glimpse of something spooky, a couple lines, a little creepy music, and then you're good. That's all you need to know.
So we introduce most of our characters. The only other person I forgot, um, well, actually, funny enough, forgot both of them are Anna Camp and
Hmm.
Ethan Embry, who are in this.
I think that speaks
Um,
volumes.
you are more familiar with Anna Camp
Hmm.
than I am. I think if I had known her better, maybe I would have more immediately been like, "Oh, she's the
I
killer."
knew she would be one of the killers because I've seen her range of acting. And so I was like, there's no way she's just going to be this random neighbor or a random kill. Like, she's got to be a
Right.
ghost face because there's something else that she's known for. And now I don't remember what it is, but what I've seen her in is the Netflix show You. She's in the last season of that show and she plays twin sisters, and the two twins are completely different people, like personality wise. And she is one of my favorite parts of that season. So I had a feeling that she would be a killer. And also Ethan Embry. You're not gonna just throw him in as a side character. Like he's 90s like nostalgia in a person.
It is great to see him
Yeah.
again. And I will say, from a second watch, I like them both better
Mm,
as killers than I did the first time.
interesting. We'll have to
But
we'll get to that
moderately,
part.
but we'll get there. But we have both of them. 'Cause yeah, gosh, let's see. You know, and this whole movie is essentially some kills start happening. She gets some calls from an AI Stu Mocker,
Hmm.
or maybe a real Stu Mocker. Um, Keeping this mystery as kind of like the central kind of plot point of whether Stu's alive or not. I It was a pretty thin thread to sit on for as long as this goes in the movie.
Yeah.
Because even at the end, like, when Ethan Embry is like, "What do you think,
Yeah.
Stu?" And then turns around and
We all knew it
you're
wasn't
just
gonna be
like,
Stu.
"Yeah, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here." Um, yeah, oh gosh. So we get this call, and this is I think your last Roger L. Jackson call
Hmm.
in this movie. And then before it switches over to Stu doing the AI FaceTime calls. I think what doesn't work for me is it's like people like scenes of like people reading texts
Yeah.
or scenes of like people all sitting around a computer to like have someone tell us something.
Hmm.
Like it's just not fun. Because like even phone calls, like you still get like if you're following one character, like you can have some movement through the
Yes.
scene, especially and you've seen it plenty of times
Yeah.
with Ghostface calls. And then whereas like all of like the Stu FaceTime calls are just very like kind of like
They're just
stagnant,
sitting
kind
there
of
looking
boring.
at it.
Yeah, like there's one scene that like I just was like, okay, I need this to be over with. Is with Gail and Sydney at the
Hmm.
table talking to AI Stu, and his just and again it's AI, so it like looks fake, but like almost also just looks like oh gosh, over Christmas I was with my mother and watched way too many Hallmark Christmas movies. And I feel like all of them have some scene where you're like, someone calls in like on Zoom or
Hmm.
Skype or whatever, and it like looks like just as fake in
Yeah.
those as it does in this movie. And so that really takes me out of it. And I think really puts a damper on Matthew Lillard's performance
Hmm.
in this. Again, I liked it a little bit better the second time watching it. It was just really jarring the first time around.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts about Stu and all of this?
I what I do like about Stu and his involvement is that they acknowledge it's meta because they acknowledge that all the fan theories of Stu still being alive. So they're at least giving us that little that little tease. But I think after that original plot that they had planned for Scream 3 had fell through of Stu being, the mastermind behind a Ghostface cult or whatever it was going to end up being, they needed to just leave it behind. I mean, Stu could still be alive. Just because this wasn't Stu doesn't mean Stu's not out there. I don't think he's going to be alive. But
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
they needed to acknowledge it. I just think maybe they held on to it a little too long. They could have even taken this AI moment and each phone call had been a different past ghost face instead of having all of them be revealed in that last scene because that felt just cheesy.
Super cheesy.
Yeah, and I completely see what you're saying about I get that it was supposed to look bad because it's supposed to be AI, but what I think about when you compare the Hallmark movie, the reason why it looks so fake is because like I'm looking at you on Zoom right now and the lighting is not, perfect. We don't look like a completely clean, well-lit screen. We look like a camera is watching us. And I think what horror movies usually do well, especially found footage and movies that take place with screens, is that it does look real because the picture quality looks shitty. If the picture quality looked a little shittier, maybe it would have been convincing. But I think that was part of the commentary on the AI is that it looks so ridiculously fake. So I don't mind that part. But I agree. I don't like that when you're on a FaceTime call or when you're talking to a like on a video call, you're trapped to staring at the phone and not moving around. Whereas when you're on a phone call, I think it does a lot that Sydney's still just like stalking the coffee beans. She's like, I don't give a fuck about whoever this motherfucker is. She's just going about her
Yeah.
day. Or when Ghostface says, I can see you or whatever creepy thing he says, you start looking around while you're pretending to have a normal conversation. That kind of stuff makes Scream have just like a vibe that the AI conversations couldn't have. So I liked the stew tease, but I agree. We needed to rule that out as a possibility a little sooner. And I think if they would have incorporated past Ghostface killers, like because we introduced Stu so early, just check the
Yeah.
box. Stu isn't there. He's not there. It's not happening. Go to the
Yeah.
next AI killer. That would be my take on that.
The other weird part about the other AI people that show up, um, you know, so you knew Matthew Lillard was going to be in this movie. They were very clear that what's his face, who plays
Scott
Roman
Scott
Bridger,
Foley.
Scott Foley was going to be back in this
He
movie.
was so stoked.
I think we even knew David Arquette was going to be back
hmm
in this movie. I will give them credit for not revealing Laurie Metcalf.
That was a fun
Um,
surprise.
however, however, it's weird that they've all aged when, like with Stu, they're trying to make it seem like he's still alive.
He,
The others, they have no qualms about trying to hide that.
yeah,
But like say Laurie Metcalf, like they don't like de-age her. Like, oh, granted, I'm not saying de-aging is the way to go because we saw in Scream
yeah.
5 and Scream 6, like
It looks
it
very,
doesn't look super
it's
great.
very Saw franchise of them to do that. They were just like, who fucking
Yeah.
cares how old they are? Just throw them up there.
And then yeah, so yeah, we'll get there. I'll expand on that maybe in a little bit. But yeah, but we get to our I guess first proper kill
hmm
of the main characters, which is going to be at this theater with Hannah and Aaron, who's working the mechanism that like lifts her in the air and moves her through the
I'll admit, when you
stage.
said Aaron,
And
I was like, who the fuck is that?
yeah, he dies
Yeah,
pretty quick. He gets his throat slit. Yeah, I think this kill is like okay.
I think it's
I
fun, actually. I thought it was like a unique, fun way to do a kill.
again the sharpest knives on the planet because like it seems like a very easy to just do a little just hold your knife up and then it just slices her open just so all of her entrails fall all over
Yeah, I don't
the
I don't know
ground.
that would have worked. I don't
I
mind
would
it. I really don't mind it. The biology of Scream I've gotten past. Like Ghostface is always the same build, the same height. Apparently has super strength now. But
yeah.
this I like the flying back and forth and the guts spilling out.
I would have, I don't know, maybe this would have been a little more brutal. I would have like, I thought at first, like, that he lifts her all the way up. I thought he was just going to keep lifting her up and just fucking dropping her. Like, so, like, until just like bones keep breaking every time, just keeps lifting her up and then
No, I think
boom.
that would have been really
And then just
dope.
like, so
Yeah.
I think that would have been great too.
hmm
Because you can't tell a little bit where like when she was like starting to get her arm and her leg kind of caught in it, I was like, ooh, I want to see some bones
Yeah,
snap
no, I
here.
thought her arm like would pull or like her shoulder would dislocate or something because she is so like adamantly wrapping that rope around her. And I'm like, girl, that doesn't feel like the best choice.
Yeah. So
And Aaron's off screen, so boo.
yeah, off-screen death. At least they find his body
hmm
afterwards. Big old slit through the throat, and just and then fucking Timothy Simmons just being like, who could do this?
Didn't even have an
Didn't even have an
understudy.
understudy. I know, but that sounds like a poor planning problem.
Honestly, be
Don't,
prepared for anything.
yeah, don't blame your poor planning on
Yeah.
Ghostface. Yeah. So everybody goes on curfew. Of course, you're gonna have the group of dumb kids who are going to avoid that. But before that happens, we get this attack in the or this whole like first attack sequence that you also see in the trailers, like with the
Mm-hmm.
whole like with the in between the walls and the stabbing and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Also shouldn't have
Um,
shown that.
yeah. And then fucking these cops, I'm like, dude, y'all didn't
You
check the
didn't
attic?
check the attic. Assholes. I
Yeah.
honestly, if I were Joel McHale, I'd be like, you know what y'all are gonna be spending the evening doing? Fucking basic ass training. Back to your rookie days because that was a rookie ass move. I do appreciate that Sydney has a panic room and
Yeah.
tunnels that like go out a side entrance to her house. That's super cool. And also kind of sad.
Maybe maybe it would have been a little too obvious to like really utilize the fact that Anna Camp was their next door neighbor and be like, hey, let's y'all stay with her for the night, you
Yeah.
know? And but maybe it would have been too clued in that like if there's a Ghostface attack, then like, dude, then she's got to be fucking involved
Hmm.
somehow, right? Because yeah, she only gets that like one scene where she like talks about she had like a lover that was like really
Hmm.
abusive, that's the father of her kid, who I like that she kind of fucking
Yeah.
hates. But yeah, and you know, they throw down for a little bit and then you get this great Gale Weathers entrance, right? Where she comes and just runs them right the fuck over. Um it's so good.
Did your audience react well to that?
In the fan event one, it was
Yeah. Oh
applause.
yeah. Everybody was like cheering on Gail. That was very fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you got the whole crew back. Anybody that's, you know, contractually obligated to come back or anyone that has signed on during this whole shit show pre-production to be here. Everyone's now in the town of Pine Grove. Um, and then this is where they, you know, they get another call from Stu and Gail and Sydney are like, all right, well, we found this dude. And then this is our first killer reveal. Some dude named fucking what's his
Carl.
name? Paul? Carl. Fucking
Carl.
Carl. Yeah. Who you see earlier on being creepy, asking for coffee at her coffee
Hey,
shop
he
that she
buys the
owns.
coffee.
He
Carl
buys the
paid.
coffee, I guess.
He's a
Yeah.
paying customer.
So,
I liked the randomness of Carl because I was like, ooh, where is this going? Like, are we gonna have just like random ghost face? Or are they gonna just keep popping up? I thought it was gonna go in a way different direction with Carl.
and kind of what I was insinuating earlier, where there's a lot of things I like about it that like, just don't, that just don't quite go all the way. This would be one of them where it's like, I like the randomness of some dude named Carl. And I'm
Hmm.
like, sweet, I want to see like a dozen ghost faces.
Yes. But also, we made such a big deal throughout this whole movie about people getting shot in the head, and Carl does not get shot in the head. Would have been kind of fun if Gail ran him over and then immediately fucking shot him in the head.
That would have been the best if she walked out and she doesn't
Say
even
anything.
break eye
Just
contact with Sydney as she's walking by and just shoots off the side and just gets him right in the fucking head.
yeah, that would have been pretty great. Maybe a little over the top, but because they made such a big fucking deal about shooting them in the head. Carl's the only one that's
Right.
human, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. You get this clue about this other behavioral health hospital, mental health institution that's a couple hours outside of town. Um, Gail and Sydney get another call from Stu or fake Stu. Mm. And then that's where you get that's where everyone kind of splits off until you get to
Mhm.
the last act. I mean, this is the last time Sydney sees Mark without being covered in stab wounds, like towards the end.
Yeah, that was another
Um,
thing that bothered me as Mark disappears. And I'm like, Sydney, you're really not in constant communication with your husband right now.
I
Was
know, right?
somebody texting you as him? Like, I needed some sort of answer there because that really bothered me. But I do like that we get a little investigating with Gail and Sydney.
And then this is where we get Ethan Embry, who's the orderly
Hmm.
at this
Who clearly
place.
is one of the killers with
Um,
all this fucking exposition.
yeah, for having all this knowledge.
Yeah,
They show that picture of Stu, and he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they were best friends,
that's
man.
John.
Yeah, they did talk about murdering a lot. Yeah, we did let them go
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. Yeah, what can you do,
And
huh?"
the way he smiles at Sydney when Gail asks if they can see the room, he just looks directly at Sydney and gives her a creepy little smile. I'd be like, that's the guy right there. That's him.
Yeah,
So suspicious.
but I love Ethan
I
Embry,
know,
so
I do too. I
good,
wish he would have
good for
had a
him.
little more to do.
Because that's the thing. That is the only time you see him.
Hmm.
Then it's the killer reveal.
Hmm.
So like almost at the same time, if it wasn't Ethan Embry, it would be another person where they took off their mask and be like,
Who's that?
"Fucking
Yeah.
who?
Because I didn't even remember his
What?"
character's name. I had to look it up and write it down. It's Marco.
And honestly, same with Jessica,
Yeah.
where I'm like, "Oh,
Hmm.
who? Oh, right, right." I'm glad they said or I think she had to even remind them, like, your neighbor, remember? And
No,
it's
she
like,
says,
yeah,
hi,
okay, thank you.
neighbor.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just for the audience to remember,
Well, because
like,
her
oh,
makeup is
okay,
all smeared and like they're trying to make her look all
right.
unhinged.
So they tell all 20 people that live in Pine Grove that it's a curfew. Um, but six of those 20 people are like, no, let's just meet in the middle of this bar in town. I like how a curfew also means that all the cops go home and sleep.
Yes. Not out in the
Because I'm like,
streets. That's the whole point.
you'd think
Anyone who's
no
out,
one's doing like patrols.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, I would have liked, yeah, I guess the police chiefs would have incapacitated probably at this point after he's been stabbed up. But
Also, none of them
did you
are
think
looking for
Joel?
him.
Yeah, I did you think Joel McHale died in this scene? I thought so.
I did kind of, but I do think it would have been a little much to kill Sydney's husband. So I thought there was a chance, but I was like, damn, they really fucking stabbed him like a lot.
And Tatum feeling like, hey, just very woefully unprepared for all of
Hmm.
this, but just refusing to just follow her mother's orders and just stay safe
Yeah.
somewhere is like, hey, let's maybe I don't think all my friends are suspects, but let's get them all together in one place. That can't be a bad idea
Of
by any
course not.
means. And and then Chad and Mindy are like, yeah, all right, sounds good. Let's get everyone together. So you have Mark at home who gets stabbed up in their garage where they're doing a lot of work on. Like you see this in the trailer too, like all the
Construction.
hanging like tarp and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Man, first thing is don't go in there. Lock it all up and don't go
Yeah.
in there. Or take all that tarp down. What the
Yeah. Too
fuck?
many places for
Like,
people to hide.
oh yeah, 100%. And especially, and that's why you get this twice at this scene and
Yeah.
then also later in the movie because they're just like, all right, hey man, they're still keeping this up. This is a good place to
Yeah.
hide. Let's fuck with
This
them
is
again in
great.
here. Yeah. So they're Sydney and Gail now learning that Stu might be alive is like, all right, well, we need to fucking bait him out somehow.
Hmm.
I get where this is supposed to be kind of like a fan servicey, hell yeah kind of moment, but I wasn't really feeling it. Was when Sydney's like, well, I'll give you the one thing I haven't given you in 30 years. And then Gail's like, an interview.
I, I
Yes. And you're just kind of like,
I was into it. Yeah, it
really?
worked for
Okay. I
me.
I wasn't
It
feeling
worked for
it.
me. I think I
Yeah.
was just so happy to see characters that I enjoy on screen, which
Yes.
also, when you don't need to build a history because you have returning characters that we've all known for so many years, you still have more time to develop your new characters. I just wanted to throw that out there. Like that gives you more time.
This interview scene's pretty
It is.
funny because Sydney's like very clear. It's like, hey, look, we just need to keep talking about whatever. This isn't a real interview. I just need you to just talk to me on camera for long enough
Mhm.
until he calls in. Can you do that? And Gail's even it doesn't matter. The only reason she's here is for the scoop.
Yep.
And there's this whole overarch of this movie. that Sydney can't trust people, and there's supposed to be this like arc here where she learns to trust Gale. Why?
Yeah, Gail,
Gale is still giving you not like okay, like is Gale gonna be Ghostface? No,
not that level. I
but
I think that's the level of trust that we're working with for Sydney at this point. Would you be Ghostface?
yeah, right. Because beyond that, Gale still proves that like if there is something that benefits her, that will take forefront over everything else. So the second Sydney said interview, fucking Stu who?
Yeah,
What? I, I'm gonna, and then of course, right? Like Sydney's like, you're gonna just lob some softballs, right? And Gail's like, no, absolute the fuck
yeah.
not.
She's like, no,
What are you talking
mm-mm,
about?
no,
I have a career I need to remember. You remember why we're here,
yeah,
Sydney? It's to revive my career. And I've done so by leeching off you and the awful things that have
yeah,
happened to you. So, dude, this whole interview, it's so funny. She's like, wow, and you named your daughter Tatum after a girl that was brutally murdered. Like Gail's never heard of this woman, right?
yeah,
Or doesn't know this
yeah,
woman like personally by any means. Not this isn't just the younger daughter of her like dead ex-boyfriend or
yeah,
husband, right?
yeah.
And it's so funny how in the same breath, like Cindy, sorry, Sydney can be like, well, what if I fucking brought up Dewey on live TV?
Yeah.
And Gail's like, yeah, it hurt me a lot, but like does not connect.
Yeah. She's like, I'd say I'm fine.
Well, but then shows a little bit. It's like, well, because I have to tell myself that
Hmm.
because obviously I'm still hurting and
Yeah.
this and this and this and this. And then Mary maybe carries some resentment for her not being there in her apartment in Scream
Hmm.
6 to help her fight that ghost face. I don't know. But this whole scene is pretty funny with them. And that's the last you see of Gale this entire movie.
And
That's it.
of Robbie Rivers.
And of Robbie Rivers, yes.
Yeah. Wasted potential.
But you get Gail a little bit at the end being like, oh, yeah. I was thinking she could have at least been like, you could have just asked for my car keys
Yeah.
or just tell me where we were going and
Yeah,
we'll go. Let's
Sydney
go.
could have gotten there way sooner. I think she didn't want
Yeah.
to involve Gail because she saw that her like injury and the results of what happened last time she got stabbed. So she probably was trying to keep her out of it. But I still would have liked for Gail to show up and be like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you're gonna leave me behind?" Because there's nothing more fun than Gail and Sydney going against Ghostface. Those are
Yeah.
some of the
I
most fun reveals.
like that would be my dream scenario situation is I need to see like them like in like a warehouse and you see like a dozen to 20 ghost faces like all coming in from different directions and
Yeah,
them each just popping them off
that'd
left
be
and
cool.
one by one
Hmm.
and just saying cool shit as they
Yeah,
do it.
not in my
All
movie,
right.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Sydney does get a couple
Yeah,
like responses to like shit the killer says.
yeah.
It's pretty funny. Um, and then hey, to at least to fake Stu's credit, he tells them where he's gonna be each time. He's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'm over here
Yeah.
in front of this bar where your dumbass kid got all of her friends together."
Hmm. Easy pickings.
And then yeah, and then we get to the scene where you know Mindy does kind of like a super half-assed like kind of version of like rules
Hmm.
this time around, but I
I like that
wasn't,
Chad is like, no, we said we're not
following.
doing that.
Yeah, she just like kind of can't help
Yeah.
herself a little bit, but and then they just each just start saying, "Oh yeah, it's totally this guy," or like, "Oh yeah, it's totally this
Hmm.
guy." They take bets
Yeah.
on who it is. Um, and yeah, this is really all you get from these
Yeah.
kids. And then they all die. You have we'll see, you've got Tatum who ends up leaving with the boyfriend,
Mhm.
which at least for all little they care about, like Chad's like, oh yeah, huh? Probably shouldn't have let her just leave with Gen Z
Billy Loomis.
Billy
Yeah.
Loomis, huh? That probably wasn't the smart
Yeah,
idea. And they're
they should
like
have been smarter than that.
a little bit. Because then they also vanish from this movie.
Yeah, because they get
You never see
injured.
them again
They get
after this.
injured and you
Or well,
don't
yeah, I guess a
see
little
them
bit.
again. So there's two other characters that you cut out. I didn't need Chad and Mindy, but they are funny. They bring fun into a situation.
So these kills next, let's see.
Chloe.
You've got Chloe and Lucas.
Hmm.
Chloe, you get a little bit of this kind of chase. It's weird because of how kind of small the footprint is of what's going on.
Hmm.
You get a little bit of like a Jurassic Park situation in this back
I don't like
kitchen.
this chase at
Um,
all. I felt like this was so, I didn't give a shit about Chloe. We know she's gonna die because she has absolutely no character development. And
yeah.
except for that she thinks creepy boy Lucas is hot. But th there's nowhere to run. Like it's a lot of hiding, and then her kill is really fucking weak.
There were two things that were weird. Like one, it's like when Chad gets stabbed because like Ghostface is like literally like coming up right behind her and then she turns and it's just Chad all of a sudden. So where did Ghostface go?
Yeah, that's weird. Also, we had talked about this. You thought that Chad had gotten stabbed twice, but he actually only gets stabbed by Chloe, and Ghostface takes the
Right.
knife out of him and throws him to the ground just to use that knife. So he doesn't get stabbed
And
again.
then cuts up Mindy a little bit, but then just leaves
Yeah.
them. I don't know why. Because clearly none of these kids are, or if anything, all these kids are even less involved in what's going on than
Hmm.
Chad and Mindy. So
Yeah, I would love to
I don't
hear
know.
like how Chad and Mindy got out of that. Maybe if they mention it, if they're in the next one or there is a next one, they just said like we ran off. Those kids were dead.
Yeah. Well, Lucas made the fucking mistake of not just playing dead after he
Idiot.
got stabbed up a
Hmm.
bunch. Because you've got, so Chloe dies, and again, like kind of
By a glass shard.
awkward, but I guess, yeah, just like, drags her into a bunch of like glass bottles and wine glasses and such, and then she falls to the ground, and then a shard of that breaks off and
Hmm.
is in her throat, and she's just bleeding
Yeah.
out, and that's
Which I
it.
didn't even notice the
Um,
first time I watched it. I was like, wait, what killed her?
which I think that's why Ghostface was like, oh man, I really need to make this
Yeah.
work. And then Lucas starts coughing, and he's like, okay, hell yeah, all right. Just with so much upper body strength, is able to first drag Lucas over to the sharpest ass fucking beer tap and deadlifts him in the
But like
air
by his
straight up
head.
by his head and just perches him. It just puts it right through the back of his fucking the soft part of his fucking skull. This alone would have been great. And some people are saying that this part's a little corny, but I like it because again, fun. I'm a fun forward kind of guy, and it is fun, even if it shouldn't work
Hmm.
logistically. Having the weight of his head turn the beer tap so blood
I
and
love
beer are
that.
just coming out of his mouth, and then you have this open like wide shot of Ghostface just like admiring his
Yeah.
work a little bit.
Just being like, huh,
And
that
just
was creative.
the flowing like this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This makes me feel better about the glass shard situation.
Yeah. I liked Lucas's kill. I even like couldn't help myself after that kill. I went, "Ooh, that was fun." In the theater. But yeah, I like Lucas's kill.
So you've got Tatum and Ben, the boyfriend,
Hmm.
and
Ugh, Ben.
they mentioned just kind of off, him one offline where it's like, oh well, he studies computer science, so he might know about deepfakes and AI or something.
They also show
Um,
him reviewing the actual calls that Sydney received from the cloud. Hmm.
right. But still, I thought it was so dumb when Tatum's like, take me to see my mom. He's like, I'll give you a ride. They get in his car, and then he leaves a window open on his laptop of him. He swears he was just to see if it was this AI stew.
Mhm.
Even if he hasn't seen any of the calls, he's just seen like some pictures that maybe like she got from the mom's cloud or
Mhm.
whatever, Sydney's cloud. And yeah, like um, I don't know if someone must have complained about this before. I'm sure. I would hope someone's complained about this on some other podcast. But like, if you're trying to just see if it works, just to see like if you could make an AI version of him and you were able to make that AI version of Stu and to see if you can act him out and make that work. You don't need to be saying all the shit that he's
No.
saying in this video of him being like, I'll cut your fucking throat out, City fucking Prescott, and all your fucking kids, and blah, 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 blah. You can just say, like, test, test.
Yeah. Or like,
I'm Stu,
yeah, or
test, test,
like
test.
any dialogue really is.
Anything that's
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
threatening or like verbatim the shit that the killer AI Stu is
Hmm.
saying. But again, Tatum's so fucking dumb where I mean, rightfully beats the shit out of him with his laptop and escapes, only for him to come back and her, after any amount of absence where he could have put on a Ghostface costume
Hmm.
and taken it off. And she goes like, "Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I knew it wasn't you. I'm sorry." When she sees him again, only to
Hmm.
have his dumbass get fucking cut the fuck up and
It
killed.
would have been funny though if he actually was involved and the other Ghostface killers just make a comment of like, well, he was left out his fucking computer, so we had to kill him. Like he's
Yeah.
too sloppy with it. That would have been fun if he ended up being one of them, you know, for
So
the
if he ended
fact.
up actually being one of
Hmm.
them, but you just never got to see him do
Yeah.
his whole like
Yeah.
reveal and whatever, whatever.
Because of
Yeah.
his
You're like, oh
carelessness.
yeah, he was
Yeah,
involved.
he actually did
100%.
all the AI videos for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like tell your girl that that's what you're doing. Like be like, "Hey, I have to like simulate this to see if it is something that you could do. So just be aware. If you see anything weird on my computer, it's that or porn."
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like the most heinous porn would have been better than or I would have just slammed it and said, "Sorry, it's just porn,
Yeah.
babe. It's just
So
porn. It's just hardcore, just smut, just the grossest smut."
the worst you could think of. Don't open it.
Yeah. Don't leave that tab open. Why'd you just have that
Yeah.
open?
What an idiot.
He's so dumb, but he's dead.
Hmm.
And he is the last death before the killer reveals.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, because you have
Yeah,
this
so
really long drawn out chase with Tatum and Ghostface. I do like the shadow work in the
yeah,
street.
her going through the town.
I
Yeah.
think that was really fun. Other than that, this fucking chase scene is so long. This was one of the times when I got bored. And then Sydney telling her where to shoot and trying to call her and looking at the cameras and like earbuds and all the thing. I was like, this is too much.
And no one will call 911. No one will.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are we doing? Where are the cops?
I know. I mean, at some point she told Robbie Rivers to tell them all to go to the bar. So maybe some of them are at the bar finding all the dead kids there, I
Mm,
guess. But you would think they would be like, wait, hold on, where is Tatum then?
yeah, exactly.
And someone could say
Yeah,
something,
where's the chief's
Um,
daughter?
yeah. Where's the chief?
Yeah,
Huh, he hasn't been answering his
he
phone
hasn't gotten
either
in
for
touch with he
hours.
just took the day off. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't this whole chase scene didn't largely didn't work for me, when it gets to like the coffee shop and
Hmm.
maybe a little bit just because it's like, okay, that's cool. Do I kind of talk her through it? Shoots the shit out of that ghost
It needed to be
face, and
shorter.
then yeah. But then like she just immediately is like, oh, maybe I'll just get these barricades out. And I'm like, no, just stay where you are. This
Yeah,
is
just wait it out.
wait it out and keep the doors fucking closed and someone will get there
Hmm.
eventually, right? But they needed to have some reason to bring this back to the house.
Yeah.
So she ends up, getting ambushed by the two and then taken home. And then this is where you get your last, you know, whole situation. Um, we've got our killer reveals
Mm.
here. Um, we find out that Mark is alive. He's not a killer, but he's
Mhm.
alive. Barely. So they drag him out, and you've got Tatum who is tied to a chair with duct tape over her face, a la Steve in the first movie.
Yeah.
This is another dumb kind of, why are we doing this?
Hmm.
Like, and specifically calling out like, see, it's just like how it all
Yeah.
started. And I was like, hold on, are we saying how it all started like here, or are we saying I think it all started when Maureen Prescott was
Ooh,
killed?
yeah, good
So
point.
let's let's
Hmm.
clearly you're not a stab
Yeah.
fan, But so I liked this killer reveal the second time around a little bit better.
Okay.
I'm still not totally sold on it. Because again, you get only one scene with Ethan Embry, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hi, I'm the orderly that connected you with other crazy killer people. And then also, by the way, I took an AI coding class,
Yeah.
by the way, so I can do this." And you're just like, "Oh, okay." You may as well just be another fucking random ass
Yeah,
person.
absolutely. I think it was one of the things that really, and I will say, the most negative reaction from Scream fans seems to be this killer reveal and the sloppy motive. But to bring Ethan Embry into this, give him one scene, make him a ghost face, and give him absolutely nothing to fucking contribute other than, I know how to use AI. He doesn't have any, like, I guess Jessica got into his head and convinced him to go on this journey with her that, like, they don't even explain that. Like they don't even say like, "Oh, we bonded while I was at Fallbrook." Nothing. Nothing to give you any real reasoning or motive behind him being the killer. I think it's so lazy because it doesn't matter who the killer is, it's why. That's what makes the Scream movies fun. Now, I will say when Jill was revealed as the killer, people were fucking shocked. I remember like people gasping in the theater. But for most of these movies, we knew Billy was the killer in Scream. Everyone knew Billy was the
Oh, yeah.
killer. You didn't suspect Stu, but it wasn't a surprise that he was the killer. It was a surprise why he was the killer. That, I think, is what's really fucking missing here.
Boredom. Huh, see, now we're in Stu Mocker
Yeah.
territory. That's a funny joke from
Yeah.
Chad. Um, and then before this reveal, Sydney comes to the house, and I did watch when I watched the movie again, I wanted to see like, did they establish like that she does have those all those screens all over her house, or did they
They
install all
installed all
that
that.
themselves? No, they don't. They were already like, so there was like another scene where like you see where like, they've got their big kind of like iPad on the kitchen, and then you
Really? They
see
have
where
all
some
those
of the TVs
screens?
are. They do
There's
establish
like a
that a
random
little bit.
monitor, though, like on the kitchen counter, or like
Yeah,
in an
yeah, that's the same
office.
one. That's the same one they talk to the parents or the grandparents on.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
And then there's the computer inside the office, and then the
I was
TV.
thinking they set all that
Um,
shit up. I was like, that's way too many screens for one house.
so it's like, and well, both can be true, or both can be, where they didn't set it up, but also that's too many screens for
Yeah.
one
And I
house.
get that
Come on.
Sydney would want security and security cameras, but also wouldn't you be worried with how technology works now that like some random computer savvy person could get into your home footage?
It reminds me of those Ring like Super Bowl commercials
Dude,
where we're like, "Oh, we'll help you find your
it's not
dog,"
about
and
finding
and
your
everyone was
dog.
like, "Yeah, nope,
No.
nope." I would love a commercial where it's like, "Look how many ghost faces we caught,"
Yeah.
you know, and still be like, "Oof, no, no,
Yeah.
thank you, no,
We got
thanks, Big
ghost
Brother."
face recognition.
Right. Um, and then you have, yeah, like the AI of Nancy Loomis and David Arquette, being Dewey. Being like, "Would you let me die?" David Arquette with like a haircut, like I'm like, you would have thought he died like at like a Taking Back Sunday concert in 2003.
At the age of 80.
Yeah. And um and then it was weird. Yeah, again, when you have like the A, you know, why have them again? It felt very shoehorned in having them all at the
And just
end.
in regular
I
clothes. Let's put Mrs. Loomis in the white pantsuit with some red lipstick. Let's put Roman even in the ghost face outfit or like a director's chair or something fun like that. Go fucking bonkers with it if you're gonna do it. Put Dewey in his fucking cop uniform, his Woodsboro cop uniform. Like, like have some fun. You're working with AI. Do whatever the fuck you want.
So one part I forgot to mention, back in that interview scene with Gail and
Mm,
Sydney, is what really worked for
mm,
me was Sydney talking about Tatum.
yeah.
And when she starts to like choke up and talking about how Tatum, how awesome Tatum was, how it was the last friend she could trust. Like, I was like,
Hmm.
I was getting a little choked
Yeah.
up
And
too.
also, like, honestly, yeah, girl, I could totally understand why that would be the last friend you ever trusted.
And I thought what would have made it effective instead of having like I I don't like was Rose McGowan busy? That would have been, I think, more effective. Was not to see some of the other killers, but then her or
More
like
victims.
instead of David Arquette, like maybe have some of the killers and be like, oh, see if we can change all the killers, and then also the people you love, and then change to Rose McGowan, because it would have been such like a thematic kind of cap on like
Hmm.
you're talking about Tatum this whole movie and
Yeah.
making inferences to Tatum, um, that I thought like that would be twisting the knife a little bit is then having it fucking with her with an AI version of Tatum,
Hmm.
saying some shit about like, see, you couldn't, no matter what you do, Sydney, you can't bring me back, or
Could have
something.
even been fun to like start with your killers and go through maybe a couple of the Ghostface victims, like one from each movie that she was close with, and ended with Tatum.
Something like that,
Yeah.
maybe, right? Like, I thought that would have been a little more effective. And I was like, I don't know. I did just a cursory Google search. I'm like, seems like everyone's on good terms right
Maybe she's
now,
just not working like that.
Yeah. But that's why I was just wondering. I was like, God, did someone ask? I read somewhere that they asked Mikey Madison
Oh.
to, and she was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Oh, that's a shame. But also I understand because a lot
Yeah.
of people don't like Amber. So I think she was aware.
I was gonna say, she's like, I'm an Oscar-winning actress now,
Yeah,
and
that too.
I think some solidarity with Melissa Barrera and
Yeah,
all of
maybe.
that. I could probably see that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm. But yeah, this killer reveal. So the motive, like, so nobody has a motive except for
Yeah.
Jessica. Like everyone, the others, like Marco and I keep forgetting his fucking name.
Carl. He's so
Carl. I
important.
keep
They
wanting to say
wrote his
Paul.
fucking name on a coffee cup comically large.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
let you know.
it's Carl.
Because they knew I'd
Yeah.
forget. So like they don't have a motive. It's just Jessica that has a
Yeah.
motive. And even
Oh,
then,
paper thin.
yeah, it's and again, still like kind of the meta-ness of we're still blaming the fact that Sydney wasn't in Scream 6. Like that's essentially the driver of this motive because
Hmm.
you have, obviously some like here, the motive, you're always having everyone's gonna have some crazy reason to kill your girlfriend, right? To quote,
Randy.
you know, to quote Randy. And so any person who has already killed like a dozen people, giving their like motive, like already you're like, okay, there's no sane way you're doing anything that you're
Yeah,
doing.
fair enough.
So I'll give you that. However, this one, again, maybe I'll say it out loud and you let me know if I got it
Okay.
right. So, Jessica, we hinted at that she had an abusive
Hmm.
relationship. What we don't know is that she killed her husband
Hmm.
who was abusive to her. So still, hey, good for her.
Hmm.
Um, and was inspired by the book that Sydney wrote for Scream
Out of
4,
darkness.
Out of
Hmm.
Darkness. And basically was like, see, Sydney is strong and Sydney survives. And Sydney worked through her trauma by killing her
Yeah, she
abusers.
killed bad guys.
So, but I guess like that can't be it. Like, I don't know where she's like, I need to continually feel safe, like someone's looking out for me or someone I can be inspired by.
Hmm.
I need Sydney to just constantly be engaging with people trying to kill
Yeah.
her.
That's pretty much what she's saying because she says trauma is your life.
And so she feels that like he- I don't know, it just feels so weird that someone that has a history of really fucked up abuse is like this other person needs to suffer forever
Hmm.
because she can constantly remind me and she needs to do it forever. And like she even says, she was like, I was really upset when you weren't there in New York. And she was
Hmm.
like, I had, they weren't targeting me. I had nothing to fucking do with New
I
York.
want to say, because I had thought about this a little bit more, I want to say that this was their meta version of fans being upset that Nev Campbell wasn't in Scream 6, which I think they could have just mentioned it once through Gail. And like, she was like, "Oh man, glad you weren't there in New York. It was brutal." Just leave it at that. Like we all know she wasn't in the movie. I really still am not that upset about it. I wanted Sydney to be able to chill. I didn't need Sydney for this movie. Like I was okay with them doing a whole nother thing. I think it would be fun to just keep doing trilogies of Ghostface just being this weird embodiment of people's rage and revenge and bloodlines or whatever it is, and it just moves from little stories to stories. That would work for me. But I think for Jessica, she's representing the fans who are upset that Nev Campbell wasn't in Scream 6, but also she's wanting to create a new generation of trauma for Sydney's daughter because now she's like, okay, she says, the cycle continues. She's like, I'm gonna make you watch your mom get killed. So I was like, so was she gonna let Tatum go after this, knowing that she was the killer?
Yeah,
Like she's
I
gonna just run
guess.
off into the sunset as a new person because she killed her son.
That is the part I
I
liked.
like that she killed her son. I'm assuming she did it, but
No, she does not have that upper body strength to do that. Not I don't know if Ethan Embry did
it
either,
was probably Ethan Embry.
but I did appreciate because you have, say, you know, Scream 2, it's about, she's driven to kill by how much she loves her son. Scream 6, same situation, driven to kill by how much he loves his
Hmm.
son who was killed by Sam. And this one, like, oh yeah, I killed that little
Yeah,
fucker.
she's like, fuck my son.
He was in the way. Honestly, he was looking too much like my husband
Yeah, she
anyway,
says he
so
reminded me
I
too
need to
much
get
of
it out
his
of him.
father, which I think is
And I was
funny.
like, that's pretty brutal and pretty good.
Yeah,
So I liked that part. And I do think Anna Camp like does ironically with her name, right? I think does a pretty good job being pretty campy with this performance.
agreed. I like that I didn't mind. I would have kept Anna Camp gladly as our killer. It's her motive that is not right for me. And same with Ethan Embry. Love this little combo. And I think you could have even kept Carl. You could have kept
Yeah,
Carl. Carl's fine. I have no issues with
I'm just
Carl.
here for the
Yeah,
ride.
no issues with him. These two just needed better motives because again, it's not about who, it's about why. So I have two things that I would have loved to see be or a different killer and then these killers' motives. I have different paths I think they should have taken.
Oh, you have like that
Yes.
you're gonna
Yes, I would
propose?
like to
Well,
propose my alternative Ghostface motive and then my
I'm
alternative
sure
Ghostface killer.
I'm sure Kevin Williamson's
I hope
listening.
so.
Go for it.
Okay. So for Jessica, again, I love her acting job. I love Anna Camp. I knew she was going to be a killer. So I'm just like, oh, like what? What's her secret? Because they did this whole thing with Stu. Is Stu alive? Everything's connected to Stu. She has no connection to Stu. She's obsessed with Sydney. So why were we zooming in on Stu so much? What I think would have been fun, we mentioned in Scream 5 that Stu has a sister. That is Kyle Gallner's mom, right? Because Kyle Gallner, he gets killed in the fifth one. It would have been fun if she was Stu's long lost sister. And you could have done the same stupid shit you did with Billy Loomis's mom of like, well, I had a little plastic surgery, a little weight loss. She didn't have to say that, but I think that could have been really fun. Like Stu's sister on Revenge, like saying that, she ended up in an abusive relationship because she was trying to escape Woodsboro and like the stigma of being Stu's sister. So she just shacked up with this guy who was terrible. I don't know what Ethan Embry's motivations would have been here. I don't really care. But that's what I would have liked to see for Anna Camp. My alternative killer that I would have swapped out for Ethan Embry if I had to, because I think Jessica and this alternative killer could have worked well together as well, is Robbie Rivers. Robbie Rivers needed to be in this movie more, and he needed to be the killer. The reason why is because this whole movie is centered on Sydney, and we talked a little bit about this off pod. It'd be so fun if all of this was about Nev Campbell. The promoting is like Nev Campbell on the poster, and then Robbie Rivers is out here murdering motherfuckers, just being like, Gail, this is how we're going to keep your career alive. Like, I did this for you. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice my career to build yours. He's just obsessed with her, and he's using Sydney as a vessel to keep Gail's career alive, and he does the ghost face reveal to both of them. To both of them. And you get Jessica and you get Robbie Rivers and everything's great. And Ethan Embry, maybe he was another rando Ghostface killer. Maybe there's four. Up the ante. Why not? I need soap opera, Fast and the Furious level, family ties, obsessions, revenge. I don't want this silly why weren't you in New York plot line. So that's my proposition for different motives and different killers.
I like it.
Thank you. Did you have someone that you wished or thought was the killer?
I do, and this is not the first time where I said I need Nancy O'Dell in this movie.
I forgot about your Nancy O'Dell thing. She needed to be in this movie.
Jessica would be cool. What you do is you maybe yeah, I like it's Robbie Rivers and Nancy O'Dell,
Because they're both reporters.
right? Absolutely. I like the idea of her being Sydney's neighbor, and she's also just trying to escape the limelight, but like maybe she is, fishing to get back in it and
Mhm.
feels like she can't and she's stifled. I don't know. And then Robbie Rivers is like, I've got an idea, and who we can get pulled into this? Who just got her contract not renewed?
Mhm.
Gail Weathers. So that always, I'm always going to be, where's Nancy O'Dell in this movie? I'll probably say the same thing in Scream 8.
Yeah.
And I would love her playing herself as the killer. So,
I think that's very
um,
fun. But that's like the level of ridiculousness that I'm almost wanting to get out of these movies. Like I'll keep seeing them if they keep making them, but I think we could go further. Even when I think back to Scream 6, I hated that killer reveal, but I just love Detective Bailey being like, of course it's me.
or like, funny in, Carl's room at the
Oh yeah.
hospital, you see that picture of Tori
So
Spelling?
good.
I want the killers to be Nancy O'Dell and Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling, who's mad because when you sit out a Ghostface attack, I don't get asked back for a movie.
Oh, that's fun.
So you are taking money out of my pocket.
That's really funny.
And then that would be your hit that Tori Spelling's involved in some
Yeah.
capacity. But that would have been fun. But again, like that's how I'm like, I don't know if I need all the drama. Like let's just have it just fucking just be bonkers and just
It could be
bring
either, but
everyone
it
back.
couldn't be this. I
Right.
think the weakest part of this movie is this killer reveal.
It's not my least favorite killer reveal. I will say that.
Mm. Which one's your least favorite?
But it's always going to be Roman.
Mm. Yeah, that's fair.
Always. So because when you retcon the first one, like that's where you're like, get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, yeah, okay, long lost brother, you've got your trauma. No one ever asked me about my scars. I get it. Like, it's, I know every person related to Sidney Prescott. I get it. But, but again, if anything, that just shows it's like, and why it's so funny where like this movie, the meta-ness of, you're blaming her not being in Scream 6 as like the not like the main driver, but like the last straw for
Yeah.
Jessica, right? And but then you're just like, there is no smart, fun reason anymore to go kill Sidney Prescott. So like, and we knew this after Scream 4. Like I just, especially because that was a great killer reveal.
Hmm.
And then you're just like, okay, we don't, and even when when that trilogy that was ultimately scrapped was going to happen, it was going to focus less on Sydney
Yeah.
anyway. And so going into 5 and 6 with Melissa Barrera, you're like, it still ties it in a little bit of way, whatever. You still have your drama with your, soap, like Secret Love Child and all the
Hmm.
things. Um, but yeah, like this movie just shows like they're it's dumb trying to figure out more reasons to kill Sydney and keep dragging her into these
Yeah.
movies and not give her just like an ending to just fucking chill out. And so, if anything, it's like the double meta-ness of this being like, this is Spyglass's fault.
Hmm.
This every most of the bad choices in this movie are like forced hands because of what Spyglass and Paramount
Yeah,
did.
absolutely. Because
Not only fucking over Melissa Barrera
hmm
for rightly calling out a genocide, and then two, fucking over Nev Campbell the last time around.
hmm
So that is what's hard for me going forward is you're like, ugh, these movies are like, I'm like, what's gonna happen next? Who are they gonna
what are we going to focus on next? Yeah,
who are these CEOs gonna fucking piss off and fuck over, for just to pinch a couple pennies
hmm
or to whatever? Like, it, that's just always gonna end up suffering on the page and then ultimately on the screen.
hmm Well,
So
not this movie.
I don't know.
I mean, we're almost at the end here, but like this movie feels, let me start over. What my biggest issue is. So we fired Melissa Barrera. We ended that story. The story that they got, like it was left a little bit open, but I think it actually could be wrapped up. I would have liked to see one
Yeah.
more movie of those characters. I would have. Just to really complete it, right? But because we knew we weren't going to get that after what happened with Spyglass and with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega then dropping out and all of the things, the fact that they made the movie so quickly, it, like you said, it's so desperate. Like, why don't we, like, what, it was 2.5 years? Maybe 3 years?
It's about next week will be 3 years since Scream
I
6.
don't think that that's enough time to recover from the drama of it all, obviously, the wrongdoings, the fact that you're now trying to win fans over with all of these past cast members, especially Nev Campbell, and having Kevin Williamson write and direct. Because clearly, I feel like something happened there where they were like, will you write this script? And he was like, only if I can direct it. And they were like, fuck, like we have to do this. Like we couldn't have waited another year and come up with something a little bit more well fleshed out.
And then the challenge is that this movie made so much money
Oh,
that
absolutely.
now they're going to make another one, which I'm like, I'm happy they're making
Is
more,
that
but I'm like, oh, that
official?
means Kevin Williamson's going to direct the next one
Hmm.
too, because he's already sharing
Yeah,
ideas, and
that's
I'm like,
true.
oh man, are we sure we don't want to like try and course correct and get
Anyone?
Kevin Williamson in the writer's seat and have somebody else in the
Yeah.
director's?
Maybe they'll change their
So
mind though.
one thing I'd like to add, they're very clear throughout the whole movie about shooting them in the head.
Hmm.
This was kind of a fun little payoff, watching the both of them just fucking unload into this woman's
Yes, it was
face
very fun.
till her face is just fucking exploded.
Hmm. I did like
It's
that.
pretty good. What I didn't like was, again, just the it's a fan service moment, but it makes me hate the fans that want this. When, Sydney turns to Tatum and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "I'm fucking Sydney Prescott's
Yeah,
daughter."
that's so stupid.
And you're
No
just
one would say
like,
that.
because whoever, no, see, and I feel bad because I'm sure there's probably somebody listening to this, and I'm sorry, but I'm the person that cheers at that. Ugh. I'm like, shut up,
Yeah,
dude. Get the fuck
it's
out of
silly.
here. This is dumb. It's so forced and dumb and
Because I thought
unnecessary.
it started out
And
cute when she asked, like, you okay? Like, that's a very mom thing to do. Like, to just check in with her. Like, she would have just been like, yeah, I'm okay. That would have been fine.
or or at least like she'll just or she goes like as a callback to earlier where she's like, I just need you to, you know, I you need to focus on surviving,
Hmm.
like, and then when she said, and then maybe at the end when she asks, like, "Are you okay?" Like she goes, like, "No, but I'll
I
survive,"
like that. Yeah,
or
that's
something, or
cute.
something like
Yeah.
that. I think would have been much better and a much more
Much
like,
more
you know,
organic.
organic callback to like, hey, when she's like, we are strong. You are like me.
Hmm.
We survive, and I'm gonna need you to
Yeah.
survive. Or however that exchange went earlier.
Hmm.
Um, so, but you're just like, ugh, eye roll.
Yeah.
You're Sidney Prescott's daughter.
Yeah. I didn't even remember
That's
how did
that's
Ethan Embry die?
dude. It's pretty funny. Like as soon as like. I mean, it's kind of dumb how Joel McHale, who's like shot the fuck up, is like still managed to like nonchalantly pull out a knife
I
that
don't
you
remember
didn't
that.
think that you didn't think they'd check his body for like
I
any
know he's a
weapons he had
cop.
on him, right? But he pulls a knife and he's like cutting out, or cutting off Tatum's like little ankle tape
Yeah.
bits. And so as soon as like she starts to fight back, immediately Sydney just shoots Ethan Embry right in the
Yes.
fucking head between the
Yes.
eyes
Okay.
and very unceremoniously put down. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, fuck,
Dumb death for a
sorry,
dumb
Sydney,
killer.
dumb death for a dumb asshole, man. Ask dumb questions,
Mhm.
get shot like an idiot. That's what happens. Um, so this I think would be an appropriate place to revisit our killer rankings
Okay.
and share a quick update. I think I can be very quick with mine
Okay.
because I don't expect anyone to remember what mine were, but I do believe there was some similarities at the top for you and me.
Similarities at the top. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go from favorite to least favorite this time around.
Okay. I like that. I like
Okay.
that you're keeping me on my toes here.
Yeah, man. Well, the script couldn't, so I'm gonna try. So my favorite is Stu. Still, Stu in the first
Yeah.
movie is great. I'd say after Stu, you've got Nancy Loomis, Billy, Jill, Detective Bailey, who people do not agree with. By people, I mean you, and that's
I'm
okay.
people. Yeah.
Because honestly, after Stu, Nancy, and Billy, you'd think there'd be a pretty steep drop off, which there is. Now, I do
Hmm.
think the only exception is Jill, because that was a great reveal and a
Yeah.
pretty funny post-reveal situation with Emma
Yeah.
Roberts. Um, that's why I put her over Bailey. But so really your tier is Stu, Nancy Loomis, Billy, and Jill. And
Hmm.
then I go Bailey, Amber, Richie, Jennifer
Oh, okay.
pretty high up
New.
considering, kind of right down the
Okay.
middle with Jennifer.
Yeah.
Quinn,
Her name's
Mickey.
Jessica.
That's how important she is, Jessica.
Yep, Jessica.
All right, whatever. Who cares? Fucking is all fucking
Wait, where
well,
was Jessica? She was after Richie?
after Richie
Okay. I'm just
and
adding
between
her.
between Richie and Quinn.
Okay.
Because after Jessica, you've got Quinn, Mickey, then you got Marco with Ethan
Okay.
Embry, and then your bottom five ghost faces are Charlie, Jason, from the one kill from Scream 6.
Okay.
Then your bottom three are Ethan, Carl,
God damn it.
and I'm sorry, Roman's still right there at the bottom. I will
Wow.
never listen to our hot takes episode. I will never forgive him.
It's because of the rewrite of the first one.
Yeah, 100%. So he'll
Yeah.
always be the worst. It doesn't matter. Anyone can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. It won't be as bad as him. So, Carl, hey, congratulations. You're not the worst Ghostface.
Hey, Carl's not my worst ghost face either. So,
Nice. All right.
spoiler
Tell me,
alert. Okay.
best to the rest.
Ours is very different after the first four. So I've got Stu, Mrs. Loomis, Jill, then Billy. The only reason why I love that seeing her think she's gotten away with it. It's the only movie that does that.
Scream 6,
So,
kind of.
yeah, okay.
With
Then,
Jason, I mean.
yeah, so then you got, so we went from Billy to Richie, then Mickey. I don't know how he ended up so high up. I think it's just because I just hate everyone else. Then Amber, Quinn, Charlie, who has moved up since my last ranking, Bailey, Ethan. This is where it gets tricky. You ready?
Okay.
Because you notice you haven't heard any of the new ones.
No, I'm surprised that you put Ethan over Jessica here, though.
The only reason why is because I hate this trio so much and their
Hmm.
motive. So they're really ranking low for me because of that. At least Ethan had a revenge fucked up dad situation. Then I have Roman, who has moved up quite a bit. And I hate Roman, don't get me wrong. But then I have Jason. Now, Jason gets that nice reveal in the opening kill, which is cool and shocking, but he's a fucking piece of shit douchebag outside of that. When you see like a glimpse into his life, fuck Jason. Then I have Jessica, then Carl, then Marco.
You put Marco
I
under
put
Carl?
Marco under Carl. You know why? Because Carl gave me hope that something more interesting was going to happen. Marco
Hmm.
was my biggest letdown because Ethan Embry was so underutilized. And Jessica's motive, I'm just not buying.
So your three killers for Scream 7 are your three least favorite killers.
Yep. I
Okay.
the any hope that I had for this movie because I was really having trouble getting through it once we lose Gail and Chad and Mindy was for hope that the killer reveal would be something really fun, and it wasn't. And so it just really fell flat for me. So, yeah, they're in the bottom. I mean, maybe one day it will change, you know. Who knows? Maybe the Scream 8 killers will be even worse.
Yeah. After my first viewing, I would have probably agreed with you. It was that second one where I was like, okay, maybe I like Jessica a little better this time around.
Yeah, and you
And
you texted me afterwards and you were like, "I think I liked this movie better the second time around," whereas I had the opposite effect. I liked it less the second time around.
oof, that's so good.
Yeah.
Um, that is the end of our movie. They, essentially, yep, everyone, the hospital comes, you got the same kind of music cue. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that
That
music from the end of Scream 1.
that's another thing I didn't like about this movie. We get that reenactment of Billy and Sydney with Ben sneaking into
Right.
Tatum's room and doing the little shtick from Stab slash Scream. And then they also throw in Red Right Hand with the curfew the same way that's in the first one. And then they do this at the end. I'm like, stop. Stop punching me in the face with nostalgia. That's literally what they're doing. It was too much.
Oh,
Too much.
see, here I was gonna say if you have any nostalgia in any of the movies left behind, you can put Red Right Hand in every single Scream movie, and I'm still happy about it.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. It's because it was used the exact same way.
Yeah.
as in the first one, the exact same way. And the same thing with the that fucking song that they play when Billy and Sydney are making out in the bed.
Oh, is that
Don't
the
fear.
same
It's like that
music?
weird cover of Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, right, right. I was just impressed by the Duran Duran poster on
I
the
know. I did like her Duran Duran poster. I noticed that the second time I watched it. I was like, okay.
Hey, I love Duran Duran representation in both this and if you haven't seen 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Oh, there's
Um
also a Duran
some
Duran
some
reference
fun
there.
fun use of Duran Duran in that
Love
movie.
that. Good. They
Love it.
need all the love
Yeah, there's like
they
a
deserve
scene
it.
where like Ray Fiennes is like, just singing to himself. And then I was like, what is that? Oh, and then I turned to my wife and I'm like, he's singing Girls on Film. And then, and then, and then my wife's like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, I'm just seeing
Duran
red.
Duran.
Yeah. And then it turns out he's got a couple Duran Duran records and he's a Duran Duran fan, which is lovely. But yeah, geez, you have yeah, like I said, Sydney being I trust you now, Gail, or I could trust you, which I'm like, not
With some
always.
things,
Yeah,
to
with
not
with
be a
some
ghost
things.
face.
Well, that's what I liked. I thought there was going to be a little bit of like a laugh or like a cheer when in the interview, Gail's like, "How do you describe our relationship?" And she goes, "Complicated but enduring."
Yeah, yeah,
You're
I
like,
agree.
that is the diplomatic way to put it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
So. I was thinking she was going to punch Gail after
I
during the interview.
know that would have been so fun to get another hit on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she sees like Gail like fucking like, having like the nerve damage and stuff. She's like, maybe I shouldn't punch this old woman in the face.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll hold off this time around. Um yeah, gosh. And then yeah, the Tatum survives. Tatum, I don't know at this point, probably should just assume all of her friends are dead, but no one's told her this yet. She just knows
Oh,
Ben
yeah,
is dead.
that's true.
But
She
yeah.
doesn't know that yet.
And then yeah, that's our movie. That's it.
Hmm.
A couple little, post-credit bits with Chad and Mindy,
Yeah,
you
that
know.
was cute.
Yeah. And that's our movie. Scream 7.
Hmm.
Natalie, what are the taglines for this movie?
This movie has five taglines.
Mm,
I only like one of them. Are
all
you
right.
ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We've got burn it all down.
But that's like again,
Yeah,
not
diminishing returns. Like what? Yeah, we burned down one house. Meant
yeah.
nothing. Okay. It's always someone you know. I think we've
Which
used
like
that one before.
yeah, and technically the only person that knew, I guess all three would be Sydney.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, who the fuck are these fucking people? And then even then it's people Sydney's only seen like once.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Fear hits home.
Okay, I guess. I mean, that's a dumb,
Yeah.
you know,
This
yeah.
this next one's probably my least favorite. Like mother, like daughter.
At least it's a little more
On
applicable.
theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my favorite. Who will make the cut?
Oh,
Let's go. Yeah, a little play on
that
words.
that should have been that I don't know why that wasn't a tagline for Scream 3. That's a much better situation because you're talking about
Yeah.
like who's like making this
Movies.
movie
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who's surviving at the end of the script kind of situation.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. If I'm keeping track right, we are going into Boo scores and
Yep.
updated film rankings.
Boo scores. I'm gonna need you to go first because I'm really on the fence about my boo score. Would you like a refresher on your boo scores for the franchise so far?
Sure.
All right. I'm putting them in order of film, not
Okay.
your ranking. So for Scream 1, 5 boos. Scream 2, 4 boos. Scream 3, 2 boos.
Hmm.
Scream 4, 4 boos. It's a 2x4.
Uh,
It doesn't make sense. I love it.
no.
For Scream 5, 3.5 boos, and Scream 6, also 3.5 boos.
Huh. Okay.
So where is 7 landing for you?
After my first showing, you and I talked a little bit on the phone, and my initial boo ranking is two. And watching it a second time, I do like it moderately a little bit better.
It was low.
However, that's not going to change my boo score.
Mm.
I believe, there are just stretches of this movie that were just boring, and that is the worst part.
Yeah.
And again, just watching all this, it just felt pieces of a movie that were scrapped and rushes to rewrite something. And then whenever, it just felt like even more clear, like when you got to write yourself out of something, it's like, let's either just do something dumb and who cares, and then let's just think that we'll trick them with all the nostalgia of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping we would kind of get away from the constant, you know, turns to the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like the second movie gets mentioned once or twice because of just the jacket in that scene.
Yeah.
And then that gave her the opportunity to also be like, "Oh, how's theater?" Yeah, I guess I was in the theater. Not since college. The last time
Mm-hmm.
I saw that jacket, actually,
Yeah.
you know. Um, it's watchable. I'll watch it again. It's not gonna be the one I revisit by any means. Um, Hmm, it's still a Scream movie. It has a couple kills that I like okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it all just falls on the writing. It's just trying to understand the motivations and the justification for anything. It was just
Mm-hmm.
really kind of a struggle for me. And and don't get me wrong, like the movies can be dumb. They have
Yeah.
full allowance by me to be as dumb as they fucking want. Hey, Scream 6 was fucking dumb. But
Mm-hmm. It was fun to
it's
watch.
it's colorful and fun, and you didn't even
Mm-hmm.
kill that many people in that
No.
movie.
Which does
And
bother me.
yes, and yeah, I think any attempts of kind of subverting, it's like, oh, there's a party. Never mind, there's not a party. Or,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's your friends, but oh, it's random people. Like, I feel like any of the ideas it has, it like really just kind of half-asses and doesn't quite just go like as full forward as I would think it might. But again,
Mm-hmm.
I will always say with that caveat, I don't make movies. I don't think I could make a movie that's as good as Scream 7.
No,
I'm not a
me
filmmaker.
either.
Um, but I don't think it's the wildest thing to be like, ugh, I love you, Kevin Williamson. Let's
Let's do
like that
better.
was, like as much as I love Wes Craven, if Wes Craven was still alive, he should still be directing these movies. However, it at least with Radio Silence, coming off a movie like Ready or Not, and Ready or Not 2 is coming out in a few weeks. Very excited about that. It's
Mm-hmm.
you have this opportunity to give fun, inventive filmmakers like some leeway to have some fun with it. You and they got a little bit more leeway there in the sixth one. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy to see that Christopher Landon was going to be doing Scream 7, and then that
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen. And, again, I don't want to like shit on Kevin Williamson or anything, but I'm just like, hey, I get it. Those are your characters. Absolutely. That doesn't mean that you are forever going to always be the expert in like what is always the quality story with these characters.
For sure.
Yeah. So, and it shows with this movie. So,
Mm-hmm.
ugh. Watchable? Sure. It's a Scream movie. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a two.
Okay. A
How about you?
solid 2.
So a solid two. Hey, and remember, be very clear. Twos are watchable movies. If you dip
Yeah.
below two, that's where you're like, I'm not recommending
Yeah.
this.
That's when it gets into rough territory.
Twos are movies that I will still recommend, maybe with
Yeah,
some caveats and some
for sure.
context.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Let's see. I gave Scream one. I give a lot of 5 boos out to the Scream franchise. So I gave Scream 1 5 boos, platinum boo for us. Scream 2 also 5 boos. Scream 3 3 boos. Scream 4 5 boos as well. Scream 5 4 boos. Scream 6 3.5 boos, and Scream 7. Oof. Okay, I've been going back and forth on my boo score. So, I've talked my way through the things that I don't like about this movie. What I do like about this movie, I like that it's a Scream movie. It did give me Scream vibes most of the time. I really enjoyed everything that had to do with Gail, everything that had to do with Sydney outside of, the killer reveal. I enjoyed seeing Sydney's family dynamic. I enjoyed seeing her have like a happy marriage, all of those things that we didn't spoil it with like her husband being the killer and doing some fucking long con. That would have been crazy. Like it would have just been too much,
That would have been bad.
Yeah. But ultimately, what this movie lacks that all of the other Scream movies have is fun. I didn't have fun most of the time watching this movie. Were there moments that had me real excited? Yes. But even when I think about when I like go through all the movies, I think 3 is the worst one, but it's still more fun than this. And I think it's still more rewatchable than this, which I don't know if Kyle agrees on that, but I've watched Scream 3 a lot and it's very much a background movie for me because I always think maybe it'll be better this time and then it's not. But I had a really low bar going into this movie. I had no expectation. I wasn't expecting it to be good, and it delivered on that. But I don't think that there's any bad Scream movies. It's still a solid slasher. I'll give it that. And when I first watched it, I gave it 3.5 boos, I think was the boo score that I gave you, like with fresh out of the first watch. I'm gonna bump it down to 3 boos. I can't give a Scream movie less than 3 boos because I will watch it again and hopefully like it more. But if they make a Scream 8, I'm gonna need it to be better. Like I need it to be better than Scream 3. That's the threshold. That's such a low bar. Such a low bar. And I want to say that the kills made it better, but I have a lot of fucking movies with great kills that are much better movies in my Rolodex.
Hmm.
So that's not going to be enough. I really don't think that that's enough. So I'm gonna stick with 3. Now, if it was on in a hotel, yes, I would watch it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's acting was fine, was good, if not fine, for like the newer characters. But the lack of commitment to writing on all of those new characters really just they are not interesting. I know nothing about them. The only ones that even got the time of day were like Ben and Lucas just being given motive to be the killers, like loose, suspicious qualities.
Right.
Everybody knows how to use AI. I don't know anyone who knows how to use AI, but I'm
Well,
old.
yeah, we are old.
We're old, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with 3. That's what I'm putting it at.
So, to rank these movies,
Can I give our current ranking?
because they are the same
This is the only franchise that had the same ranking as of
so
now
far.
so far.
Yeah.
So currently, our franchise ranking for both of us is 1, 4, 2, 5, 6, 3.
Okay. A lot of people, we seem to be alone on the Scream 4 situation.
I know. It's a bummer. It's a real bummer. But you know what? I don't even care. I respect everyone's opinions. You can like what you're gonna like. Like that's the fun thing about movies and art and music and all of the things. But you're just fucking wrong when it comes to Scream 4. You were wrong. If you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch it. D Tell me that's not a good movie. It's Wes Craven's last movie. It's a perfect slasher. It is. That doesn't mean that Scream isn't a perfect slasher. It doesn't mean Scream 2 isn't a perfect. It's perfect. It's great. It's fantastic. Everybody's wrong. Okay, where are you gonna rank it?
Okay. So my ranking will go 1, 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 3.
I knew it.
Which is kind of interesting having five, like almost just complete, just always putting three at the end, and then the new movies just diminishing returns.
Yeah,
You know,
but you're like still haven't found one worse than three.
no, yes, Scream 3 sucks.
You hate
I
it so much.
it's Natalie again. I'm not going to belabor this too much more than I have. But again, it's like, yeah, okay, there's plenty of other movies where you can find kills. There's like no kills in that fucking movie. They're all so dumb. It's so
Mhm.
bloodless. There's, yes, Parker Posey. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. But you also have Jay and Silent Bob.
Mhm.
And a just again just a killer motive that just tries to retcon the best movie. Like
Mhm.
again, none of us watch Scream. No one watches Scream thinking like, "Oh wow, yeah, Roman's in the background somewhere."
Yeah,
Pulling
nobody
the
gives a shit
strings
about
and
yeah.
directing.
Mm-mm.
Nobody, because that's how just fucking like you try to give me this like fucking left hook of a fucking twist, and I just go, no, no, thank
Would
you.
you like Roman better if he was just Sydney's long lost brother and like
Yes.
the rest of the story played the same way, but it just wasn't he had
Yeah.
no involvement with Billy and Stu or Maureen's killing even.
Oh yeah, it would still be a bad movie in
Hmm.
most all respects, but I wouldn't hate it
And you
like I
probably
do.
wouldn't put Roman as low.
Wouldn't put Roman as low. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roman would jump up a few, at
Yeah.
least.
That's I try to like just let that piece go because it's probably the only thing in this franchise that I genuinely wish was rewritten. Like just that piece. Everything else I can fucking deal with, whatever. Um, okay. I had a feeling that's how you were gonna go. I I thought about this so much about how my ranking was gonna go for the films because it's so hard.
And it's really
Um,
like the main question while ranking these is like, how bad is Scream 3?
Honestly, yes. That really is how it goes. But okay, I even like struggled. I was like, why did I put Scream 5 before Scream 6? And I was like really thinking through it because I think Scream 6 is just a fun ride to watch, but Scream 5 feels like a Scream movie and I like the killers way better.
The
Way
jokes
better.
are better and you get
Yeah.
Dewey.
Yeah, exactly. It's your last movie with the three of them. So, I struggled too. I was like, how bad is Scream 3? Now, I do think Scream 3 is more fun than this. I would watch it more often, but ugh, I still don't think it's the better movie. So my ranking is exactly the same. It's 1, 4, 2, 5, 6, 7, 3.
Sorry, Scream 3 fans.
I know. And it's not that I don't like it. That's the thing. Like, I like all Scream movies. I really do. But I will say this movie was disappointing. And what I think is the most interesting, like we've been talking about this now for what, like 3 hours? I think the most interesting thing about this movie to me is Scream fans are fucking loving it. I have yet to find someone like we have, a lot of other horror podcasts, content creators on our Instagram. And I was going through and just looking at posts and videos and things. I couldn't find anybody who really hated it. The biggest complaint was the killer reveal, which is absolutely fair. I think we can all hold hands on that. But I really, really, if you listen to this whole long ass episode, I really need you to tell me, after everything that we just pointed out about why this movie is not great, do you really like this movie? Is it recency bias? What did you enjoy about this movie? What made it special? What put it, for some of you, in your top three or four of these movies? That feels fucking wild to me. The fact that you could say that this is a better movie than Scream 4, I'm gonna respectfully say, abso-fucking-lutely not. Absolutely not. I will defend Scream 4 to the day I die. I will be on my deathbed being like, Scream 4 is the best sequel. Like, it's, I'm like, I don't get it. So maybe I just need more time to process, but I really need to know how this movie is landing in such a positive light. Oh, Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is at 33%, which I agree with for the first time ever. And the audience score is 78%. The audience needs to pipe down.
Didn't you say your fucking 10-year-old gave it like a 4.5? It's
My
probably that
son,
inflating
my
things.
son gave it a 4.5. He gave it 4.5 booze. In all fairness, though, he gives everything over four booze.
Yeah. So
He
me
loves
they
everything we watch.
he probably got caught up in the audience popcorn score.
Yeah. Well, he's really big on like fun kills. And I think he really dug the knife through the head with the eyeball. Like I heard his reaction. He was like, "Oh." So I know he enjoys that. How troubling to say that about your own child. But I was the same way when I was 10. Like think about the horror movies you saw when you were 10. That was fucking 1997.
I feel like the Rotten Tomatoes critic consensus like gets it like pretty good, where it says
Yes.
less a return to the roots than a disappointing creative regression. The
Hmm.
seventh entry draws little blood with its dull knife of a script, which I'm like,
I read that
ugh.
too. Yeah.
It's true though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't see the lie here.
It just doesn't feel, it feels like Kevin Williamson went into it. He did the best he could with what he had,
Sure.
but I think if none of the bullshit happened with Melissa Barrera, we would not have returned back to Sydney for Scream 7. I think we would have had a completely different movie, and I think that it would have been better. And I think then we would have went to another story after that. Now I have no idea. I don't want to follow Sydney's daughter. I really don't.
I really don't.
I want Gail, I want Chad, I want Mindy because I think you could insert Gail into any situation. She doesn't need ties to anything. The kills don't need to be about her. Yeah, I wish I liked it more. And I even had a couple people because I got that stupid Scream cup and I was carrying it around and I told Kyle this. I was carrying it around and like two or three people asked me like, "Oh my God, like what did you think of Scream?" And I was like, "It was fine." And they were like, "Oh, that bad, huh?" And I was just like,
Mm,
"Oh gosh, I didn't realize like how bad saying it was fine is." But I'm like, when you've been watching these movies since 1996,
yeah.
you don't grade on a curve. So don't grade on a curve just because it's a Scream movie. I want to hear everybody's honest assessments.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Whew.
Also, we'll definitely get an eighth one. It's already doubled its budget
Oh yeah.
in 3 days.
Yeah, biggest opening of any of them. So,
Crazy.
yeah. Weird that it's for like the worst movie.
I
But
know. But that's because nobody had seen it. We saw it twice. So there you go.
yeah. All right, everybody. Damn. All right, that's it. I guess, well, I'm sure we'll see you for Scream 8.
Yeah. Wait, what,
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah.
Give it probably. Or do you think they'll get it done in a year?
Maybe.
I think they could do it in a year.
Yeah, I don't have any words of advice for anybody. Yeah, just
Talk on the phone more.
yeah,
That's
talk on
my
the phone.
advice.
Talk on the phone a little bit more. Call your friends.
Yeah, we don't want to watch you text.
Yeah. It's boring.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Take care. Three, two, one, ghost.
Thanks for listening to our episode on Scream 7 and revisiting our Scream series. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to our podcast and leave us a 5 boo review on whichever platform you choose to listen. You can find us on Instagram at 321 Ghost Pod and give us a follow. We would love to hear your Scream rankings. And if you enjoyed this movie, follow us on Letterboxd at 321 Ghost Pod to see our boo scores on all of the movies we've covered so far. Next week, we're headed back to our Nightmare franchise series with A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Thanks again for listening. And remember to pick up the phone sometimes and give someone a ring. You could play trivia. 3, 2, 1, ghost.